seen it this time, so that we may bring you exclusive coverage of the Bulls and Suns in the NBA Finals.
He does not need this as further certification of his greatness. Yet he and his team crave an even more exalted place in history. To join the Minneapolis Lakers of the 50s, first to three-peat. To be mentioned with the NBA's true dynasty, Russell Celtics, 8 titles in a row, almost a triple three-peat. Comparisons across the eras are difficult, but Michael Jordan knows this. He is on the verge of accomplishing what his most formidable contemporaries could not. Larry Bird's Boston Celtics reached the finals 5 times in all, and in a 6-year span, won 3 championships. Some say Bird's '86 team was the best ever for a single year, but Larry Celts never repeated, largely because of the presence of Magic Johnson's Lakers, who reached the finals 9 times in 12 seasons, and wore the crown 5 times, once back-to-back, but they were thwarted by injuries and Isaiah Thomas's Pistons as they went for the triple. That was the first of 2 in a row for Detroit. But eventually, a team they had haunted grew stronger. And when the Bulls swept the Pistons, the torch was passed, although grudgingly. The Chicago Bulls, now on the verge of such an emphatic run of excellence that they believe no one will be able to deny them a place on the short list of all-time great NBA teams. The Chicago Bulls, nearing the end of an extraordinary basketball odyssey, and believing, to a man, that tonight is the night.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1993 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 5 between the Chicago Bulls and the Phoenix Suns.
Chicago Stadium has been sold out for every game this year, of course, but this is the one game it has all been pointing toward. The Bulls' first chance to fulfill their season-long quest, and their only chance to do it in front of their home fans. And in just a few moments, it will be game time, and this is what will be at stake. The Larry O'Brien Trophy, named for the late commissioner and emblematic of the championship of the National Basketball Association. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Costas. For the sake of perspective, let's consider what winning 3 in a row would mean. Would it mark the Bulls as one of their sport's finest teams ever? Undeniably, if they haven't achieved that status already. Would it mean they were the NBA's best team since Russell's Celtics, last to win this many or more in succession? Well, hold on there. While the Bulls belong in any discussion of the NBA's elite, who knows how many in a row the Celtics or Lakers of the 80s would have won if they didn't have to contend with each other. Or, for that matter, tremendous 76er teams at the beginning of the decade. And then there are the 72 Lakers of Wilt and West, who won 33 in a row in one stretch. Chamberlain's dominant Philadelphia team of 1967, or the finely tuned Knick teams of the early 70s. Any of these clubs could conceivably have given these Bulls a run for their money. But that's for parlor games. As for the games they've actually played, the Bulls have turned back all challengers in a 3-year span. The last of these is the Phoenix Suns, who, though down 3-1, have proved to be a stern test. Their job tonight is simply this. They must somehow tear up the script and silence 18,676 who have come here to rock the rafters. There's only one way for the Suns to look at it. They're going to get on a plane to Phoenix after tonight's game. The question is, do they make the Bulls go with them, which would not only be a major inconvenience for the Bulls, but would put the three-peat itself in some jeopardy. For more, let's go down to the floor to Marv Albert, Magic Johnson, and a man spending perhaps his last night observing these teams before preparing to compete against them, the new coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mike Fratello. Take it, Marvelous.
Yes, Bob, it is now the Czar of Cleveland. Kind of a nice ring to it. Remember these days in your previous life when the Czar was coaching the Atlanta Hawks? Childlike qualities being shown along the sideline.
Yes, but back then, even with my assistant, Brendan Sir, color-coordinated sport jacket, my other assistant, Willis Reed, I asked him to wear one. He said no, and if Willis says no, it's no.
He would think of that aspect. There is one other aspect that you will be dealing with soon in your new role as coach of the Cavaliers, and that is defending against a fellow by the name of Michael Jordan. Jordan with the sensational 55-point performance in Game 4 here on Wednesday night. What do you look for from Michael tonight in terms of his approach? How will he come out? Will it be a scorer? Will he look to distribute the ball?
Just a short while ago down in the locker room, he mentioned that he would come out, feel the game out, and see what he thought had to be done early. When you look at his points after the first 4 games, 31, 42, 44, 55, always on the move up. And it'd only be natural that the leading scorer in the NBA would take the most shots during the regular season, almost 26 shots per game. In the finals, almost 10 more shots per game for Michael Jordan. In fact, combining both teams, Jordan has 54 more shot attempts than the next closest player, Charles Barkley. If there's one key word for Michael in this series, it's aggressiveness. He's made a decision to take it to the basket like he has taken it against no other team. Total confidence in getting to the rim and finishing the play. It's almost as if Michael Jordan has made a statement to his teammates. Jump on board and let's win this championship together, or I'm going to do it by myself.
All right, to the Phoenix Suns' point of view, what do the Suns have to do, Magic, to bounce back, to turn it around, and get back into the series?
Well, don't count this Phoenix Suns team out. They're a very dangerous team. They've been in every single game of this series. Now, what they must do is make this game wild and crazy. Really run the ball up and down the court. Also, if I was them, I would tell Charles Barkley, hey, take 30 to 40 shots. We're going to win or lose with you. And then they must be physical. They must take Michael Jordan and be physical with him. They were letting Michael Jordan get to the basket too easily. And Danny Ainge told us this yesterday. He said, look, I was tired of watching Michael Jordan just float in the air and take it to the basket. That will not happen today.
All right, so for Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns, the season is on the line. They hope to bring the series back to the Valley of the Sun for a Game 6.
NBA on NBC is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the Chicago Stadium. Tonight, Game 5 of the NBA Finals is between the Phoenix Suns and your Chicago Bulls. Now for tonight's lineups. First for the visiting Phoenix Suns. At forward, from Auburn, 6'6", Charles Barkley. A 6'7" forward from Oklahoma State, Richard Dumas. At center, 6'10" from Old Dominion, Mark West. At lone guard from Central Michigan, 6'6", Dan Marley. At the other guard, 6'1", from California, Kevin Johnson. The Phoenix Suns are coached by Paul Westphal, assisted by Lionel Hollins, Scotty Robertson, the trainer, Joe Brodsky.
games here at Chicago Stadium. Now to check out the mood in both locker rooms, we have reports from Rashad and Hannah Storm. First, here's Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Mark. The last time we reported from the Bulls locker room was just before Game 3. The Bulls were extremely confident and very loose. Well, tonight it was a little bit different. They were still confident, not as loose, but very cautious. I asked B.J. Armstrong about it. B.J. told me that in a game like this, at this point in the series, no more surprises. Both teams had made all the adjustments that they were going to make. The team that would win this game would be the team that wanted it the most. Hannah?
Ahmad, the report on Charles Barkley's sore right elbow is a good one. For the first time in 3 games, he has not had to have excessive fluid drain from that elbow. He gave me the thumbs up. They'll check him at halftime. As for the mood in the locker room, it was quite subdued before the game. Many of the Suns clinging to the fact that they have faced elimination 4 times in these playoffs, but won every time. Their slogan tonight, win one. That's all they need to do to take this series back to Phoenix. Mark?
Thank you, Hannah. The officials are Joey Crawford with the basketball, Jess Kersey, and Jake O'Donnell. No team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the NBA Finals. Bulls, with the 3-1 lead, control the opening tip. Scottie Pippen, played by Dan Marley. Kevin Johnson opens against Michael Jordan. Pippen had it deflected short. And Barkley starts back. Loops over to Marley, who's guarded by Pippen. Johnson played by Jordan. And Barkley for 3. Charles Barkley opening up by attempting from 3-point range. Armstrong for Grant. Cartwright. So everyone touching the ball here on the first 2 possessions. Grant. Marley with the rebound. Kevin Johnson stopped by B.J. Armstrong. A minute gone by. Richard Dumas. And it's Barkley stepping back, changed his mind. Marley passed on the 3, missed the reverse. Rebound West. Kept alive by Dumas. And Michael Jordan gets to it.
Gang rebound. Everybody going after the basketball early in the game. Extra bodies going after it to get and secure a rebound. That was an excellent call by the official just then on the sideline.
Oh, the Czar looking for some calls right at the start of his return to coaching.
He knows he's going to need those calls next season. But I think right here, I think that Phoenix is going to have to really set their offense and go inside to Charles Barkley. Really set the tone that they're going to be powering the ball inside tonight.
But Barkley continues to fire from outside, and he's given the Suns a 2-0 lead.
Magic, it almost seems like he's trying to do it in reverse. He's trying to get his outside game going, hoping that maybe they'll come up on it, then maybe take it off the dribble.
And that's all right, too.
And here's Barkley off the steal from Marley. And Barkley trying to go to the left hand. It was broken up. Good play by Grant. Getting back. Charles Barkley was 1 of 10 from outside in game number 4.
You can see that Grant doesn't feel early. There's a sense of urgency that he has to be uptight on him until he makes a few, just like Kevin Johnson did from the left corner.
Michael Jordan for 3. Yes. Well, Michael wasting little time. His first field goal opportunity, and he converts from 3-point territory. Suns 4, the Bulls 3. Johnson, yes.
I'm afraid to see what the number might be tonight with Michael. Each game they've gone up 31 points, 42 points, 44, 55. Scottie Pippen with the backdoor layup.
And I have a beautiful pass from Michael Jordan. All the defense was paying attention to him. He just whipped it through.
Armstrong fell down and also in the process tripped Johnson, leading to the foul call.
After Jordan makes this 3-pointer, he turns and comes back almost with a sense of satisfaction on his face, as if to say, yes, I feel it early, I'm off to a good start. Then, playing the other role, the playmaker, he hits Pippen with the backdoor pass.
Now Barkley posts up. Yes. Charles Barkley feeling it here in the early going, and he's given the Suns an 8-5 lead.
See, I like this strategy. Like I said earlier, hey, get him 30 to 40 shots. If you're going to lose, you lose with Charles Barkley.
Here's Jordan. So Michael has hit his first two, a 3 and a 2 for 5 points. Suns by 1.
And Phoenix has come out again with Kevin Johnson playing Michael Jordan. He hasn't gone inside. He's making it from the outside.
Brown looking for a travel on Mark West. No call, and the Suns lead 10-7. Mark West, the last couple of games, has been effective, even though he has been in foul trouble. Barkley called for the reach-in. Tried to knock it away from Cartwright.
Jordan's first field goal attempt was a three-pointer. This one, in a little bit closer, shooting and playing with an extreme amount of confidence here early in the game.
Jordan guarded by Marley. They'd like to get Cartwright involved. And they do. Suns by 1.
I think they should continue to go to that matchup. Bill Cartwright with Charles Barkley guarding him.
Suns have hit their last 5 shots. They missed their first 4. Barkley off a double team, yes, and it counts. Barkley will go to the line.
Well, Paul Westphal must have heard me because they're going into him every single time. You always, when a crucial game, you put the weight on your superstar's shoulder, and that's what the Phoenix Suns are doing right now.
Foul was committed by Scottie Pippen, and Charles Barkley, who has had a storm mention prior to the game, still bothered by the sore right elbow, but it did not get worse, and he has come out looking very sharp. He's hit 3 out of 4. Cutting for a 7th point. Suns 13 and the Bulls 9. Phoenix hoping to bring it back home for a Sunday night game 6. Alex Johnson guarding Jordan. Pippen. Dumas challenging, came away with it. Barkley passed on the 3, and now looks to regroup. And now takes it by himself, met by the double team, had to pitch it out. Here's Dumas. Well done by the Suns.
Patience, execution, the skills part of it, passing the basketball, everybody doing what they were supposed to do when the double team took place.
The Suns 15, the Bulls 9. Last touch by Phoenix. It'll be Chicago ball with 12 on the 24, but Phil Jackson wants to talk it over. Timeout taken with 7 minutes, 11 seconds to go in this opening quarter. Well, Michael Jordan with 5 points and 2 assists has accounted for all 9 Chicago points. We talked with Michael prior to the game and asked what his approach would be in coming out tonight in game number 5.
I have that inner drive to do whatever possible to get this game over with tonight. I may be a little bit overconfident or a little bit too hyped. Hopefully I'm not, but this is how I must approach the game, because as much as we can limit the confidence that this team may have, it's better for us. And I think if we can get it done now, we may be facing a Tiger back in Phoenix. So I told the guys, I'm not going back to Phoenix with you guys. If you guys want to go back and play, you're going by yourself. I want to get it over with right now.
Well, that's great thinking, because if Chicago loses this game, it's going to be tough. 24-second clock just ran off, but it'd be tough for them to beat the Bulls to beat the Phoenix Suns again in Phoenix. I think that the momentum will switch to the Phoenix Suns, and that's why the Phoenix Suns right now come out aggressively and ready to play this game.
Suns 15 and the Bulls 9. Barkley again. And the Suns have hit their last 8 shots, and they now lead at 17-9.
Ahmad Rashad mentioned in that last timeout, it was a wake-up call timeout. Phil Jackson telling the team, hey, we got to get going. Let's not let them hang around and think they're going to disappear all of a sudden. They're building a lot of confidence.
Cartwright stripped Pippen on the recovery. And I would think that Phil Jackson is also thinking, as he did during the course of that triple overtime loss, that the Bulls sometimes rely too much on the crowd getting them to a higher level, and he said you can't do that, particularly when the Suns have come back on a number of occasions. Here's Barkley for 3. Marley trying to keep it alive. Marley does keep it alive. And the Suns get a new 24. Johnson with a beautiful crossover to set it up. Yes!
There's the in-between game that Kevin Johnson uses so well. He did not try to force it and take it to the rim. He saw the defenders back there, just pulled up around 12, 14 feet, hit the jumper.
Jordan for three. West with the save. Crowd looking for a travel. Here's Dumas with the ball fake. And a cross.
Charles Barkley is furious right now at Richard Dumas.
Loose ball foul against the Bulls. Well, Phoenix very fortunate they will get it back off that foul call. But first a look at the Kevin Johnson move with a crossover to beat B.J. Armstrong.
And when Kevin is coming at you with a head of steam, that's when he's the most dangerous because he can use all those type of moves on you. And the only thing you can do as a defender is backpedal.
Horace Grant called for that foul. So the Suns back to the offense. They lead by 8. Open shot for Dumas. The Suns now lead 21-11. They have connected on 10 of their last 11 shots.
When they went to the pick and roll with Phoenix Suns, what happened was West slipped the screen. He went early. Normally Chambers likes to do that. He can catch and shoot. West would rather take it and dunk it. He had no room last time.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dumas lost it.
It's 2 times in a row now that Richard Dumas has tried to do things too soon. He's trying a little bit too hard. Once on the fast break, trying to throw backwards. That time trying to beat his man one-on-one.
Well, the whole problem is that Charles Barkley was open both of those times, and he should have got the ball to Charles Barkley.
Pippen with the fake. Beautiful baseline drive by Scottie Pippen. Phoenix 21 and Chicago 13. Here's pressure by Armstrong. We have not seen much pressure here on the early going. Phoenix has been allowed to get to their normal regular season tempo here in the first quarter. They double up on Barkley. Johnson. Oh, what a move by Kevin Johnson. He's hit 4 out of 4. He has 8 points. Suns lead by 10. And they've hit 11. Oh, the alley-oop from Michael Jordan.
Well, Michael threw a backdoor pass to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen now comes back, throws the alley-oop pass to Michael Jordan.
Suns by 8. Again, the double on Barkley. Dumas from deep. Richard Dumas has been jump-starting the Suns almost every game of this series, but has not seen much playing time in the second half. He went 25 minutes in all the other night, hit 8 of 11. Jordan's pass broken up. Johnson for Barkley. Armstrong back, and Charles Barkley extends to a 27-15 lead.
The key to the game for the Phoenix Suns is that they're going through Charles Barkley every single time. Either he's going to shoot it, if he gets double teamed, he's going to create a shot for somebody else. And then KJ is penetrating, and that's been the key for the Phoenix Suns.
Good box out by Dumas. Suns have hit 13 of their last 14. Barkley saw the opening and then decided to get it back. Barkley for 3. Comes back to Barkley. Well, the Suns getting some good hops here in the first quarter with 2.5 remaining. West setting the pick. Here's Johnson. Air ball. Knocked out of bounds. Jake O'Donnell checking with Jess Kersey. He says last touch by the Bulls. And a timeout is taken. 10 on the shot clock. When we come back, it will be Phoenix ball. They lead by 12.
I want you to keep an eye on Michael Jordan up here with his left hand on Kevin Johnson as he pulls him in a different direction than he really wants to go. Left hand pulls, Jordan changes direction. The lob pass by Scottie Pippen. Jordan converts. Take him one way, pull him with that left hand if you can get away with it, and then all you have to do is be able to jump 3 feet above the rim and convert.
You know, I still like what Phoenix is doing right here. They're really mixing their offense up very well. They're running when they get an opportunity, and then going through Charles Barkley. He's already taken 7 shots already, and he's on that pace. Like I said, 30 to 40 shots. He needs to take 30 to 40 shots.
Barkley has hit 5 out of 7, 11 points. Nice pass. Dumas from Barkley. A reverse stuff by the rookie, Richard Dumas.
That was supposed to be a back pick lob pass for Richard Dumas. Phoenix likes to run those after timeouts. Instead of going behind the screen, he inside cut to the basket because they took the back cut away, got the score.
And the Suns have hit 14 of the last 17. They opened the game by missing their first 4, and they have been on fire. Mark West extends to a 31-15 lead with just under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Scott Williams has come on for the first time. Here is Armstrong. Suns have also controlled the boards. They have out-rebounded the Bulls 10-2. Dumas, yes, Richard Dumas has come out shooting. 5 for 5. He has 10 points. The Suns lead 33-17, and the Suns have taken this crowd right out of it here at the Star.
See, they have nothing to lose. They're playing with confidence. They say, hey, we know we've been in every single game, and all we have to do is play a little bit better. And that's what they're doing right here. They're playing a little bit better.
Shot clock is down to 4. Scottie Pippen with his 4th bucket. He has 8. Suns lead 33-19. Now they trap. First time we've seen it. Barkley backing Grant. Barkley rebounded by Pippen. And Pippen accelerates. Pippen all the way is fouled by Dumas.
Let's go back a moment ago after a timeout. Phoenix likes to run a back pick. Scottie Pippen right there is supposed to get back pick. Dumas is supposed to run a lob pass route. Instead, Pippen takes it away. Dumas comes to the inside. You see the inside cut and the layup. No back pick lob, so I'll inside cut and take the layup. After the play, the bench can't believe it. We actually ran another option off it, and it worked. Hey, these plays work once in a while.
But the players are saying, wow, telling Chicago, I know they can't believe it, the team. And it's going good right now for Phoenix Suns.
Mark West will get a rest. Frank Johnson checking in. And this first time we've seen it in this series with the combination of Frank Johnson and Kevin Johnson on the floor at the same time.
I like it because now they can't just pressure Kevin Johnson. Now they have another ball handling guard. See, they're beating the press right now.
Pippen trying to draw the foul, no call. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Bulls.
And you saw the attack mentality, just like Magic said. They've got more than one key ball handler. They have a lot of confidence now that once they beat the initial double team, then they have numbers. This is half acting, half little contact that time. Good no call.
Marley for 3. Rebounded by Dumas. And the Suns regroup. Kevin Johnson checking the clock. We're down to 15 seconds in the quarter. Suns spreading out the floor, down to 10 seconds. Johnson one-on-one. Backs it over to help. Open shot for Frank Johnson. And Pippen from center court. Charles Barkley providing a spark. Charles coming out on fire. He has 11. Richard Dumas with 10. The Suns 16 of 26. 62% shooting to open it up. And they lead by 12 after 1. In recent years, the Bulls have certainly demonstrated the killer instinct. They have won 11 of the last 12 with an opportunity to clinch a a series. On the other hand, as Hannah mentioned right at the start, the Phoenix Suns 4-0 in this year's playoffs when they have faced elimination. And that is the scenario tonight, trailing 3 games to 1, and they have come out and taken a 33-21 lead as we head to the second quarter. One stretch they led by as many as 16. Paul Westphal staying with the backcourt of Kevin Johnson and Frank Johnson, along with Dan Majerle, Charles Barkley, and Richard Dumas. Barkley rebounded by Williams.
From the Bulls bench during that last timeout, Ahmad mentioned Phil Jackson sensing the tightness in the team, trying to loosen them up a little bit, not happy that they're being out-rebounded. Stacey King with a nice drop-step reverse move, not happy how they're being, and a turnover in the backcourt by Kevin Johnson because of the pressure of Scott Williams.
And you can see right here that Paul Westphal is bringing in Oliver Miller because he knows that it's a mismatch with Dumas guarding Stacey King, so he's trying to get some defense in here and take Kevin Johnson out where they can match up right now.
Richard Dumas, 5 of 6, 10 points, he leaves. No, Dumas now stays. Kevin Johnson departs. So Dumas is now guarding Jordan. Pippen, 8 unanswered for Chicago.
Last game, as soon as Richard Dumas went on Michael Jordan, Jordan put the ball on the floor and started to go right by him to the basket. We'll see if Michael attacks it the same way.
Oh, good play by Paxson. He tied him up.
For Chicago, as Michael sees the double team coming, Scottie Pippen finds the opening in the seam. Jordan delivers.
And Charles Barkley in the face of Jake O'Donnell, the wrong man to start up with. And that was ushered aside by Dan Majerle, and Jake being very compassionate here at the start.
Well, Marv, you said it right. He should have gave Charles a tee, but Jake is a veteran official, probably officiated more finals than anybody, and let him go with that.
Rejected by Jordan. And here comes Williams, 3-on-1 for Chicago. Phoenix got back. Stacey King, who just checked in. Paxson eluding Barkley, hits the three. John Paxson with the tie-up, a three-pointer, 11 straight points by Chicago, and they move within a 5.
It starts with defense for the Chicago Bulls. You may talk about Michael's scoring, but his ability to defend sometimes goes unnoticed. They brought this guy off the bench to get the crowd involved, and he does it his way with the jumper.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Express Mail from the Postal Service. We track, we trace, we deliver for you. And by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car.
Let's go back a few moments ago when Charles Barkley went to make his move. A jump ball was called by Jake O'Donnell. Charles Barkley reacted, took the ball, walked away, then throws it up against the scorer's table. Jake O'Donnell could have called a technical foul. We just found out instead of delayed game was called at that time. It shows you why Jake is considered to be the best, because veteran officials using good judgment, understanding the emotion and circumstances involved, think about it, then take the lesser of the two, put a delayed game on the team, don't put a technical foul up there.
11 straight points by the Bulls over the last 3 minutes. Danny Ainge has come on for the first time. The Suns by 5. Here's King. And Majerle able to race it down. Michael Jordan has not taken a shot in 5.5 minutes. He has 7 points and 5 assists. Miller, nice look. Barkley extending to a 35-28 lead.
But they still doing an excellent job. The Phoenix Suns are moving the basketball around when they get the double team and scoring out of that double team of the Chicago Bulls.
gets to the rebound. Now backcourt of Kevin Johnson and Danny Ainge. Miller, Marley, and Barkley up front. Marley off the fake. Shot clock at 7. Marley blocked by Williams. Miller. Barkley with the rebound. And a foul called against Chicago.
Reason why KJ plays MJ is to keep him out of the lane. The quickness of foot, better for Kevin Johnson than either Ainge or Marley or Michael Jordan. Michael forced to kick it back out that time. He couldn't find his way down the lane.
Jordan was called for that foul. Stacey King now sits down. Horace Grant is back. Grant up front with Williams and Pippen. Barkley for Miller. Block. Miller again. Miller with the tip. Oliver Miller hanging in. Extends to a 37. 28. Phoenix advantage. Pippen with the spin, and he was met by Miller. Foul called. For Miller, his first.
The second and third effort is here tonight for the Phoenix Suns. Miller keeping it alive on the glass after he misses the first shot attempt. And then the cry in the locker room for Phoenix before the game was, let's defend somebody. You see people trying to help each other out. Even though Miller fouled, Marley turned around, patted him on the back because he knew his teammate was there for him.
And Chambers, who just checked in, trying to get down court. Paxson cut him off. Jordan for 3. Michael had not taken a shot in 7.5 minutes. Kevin Johnson, bad shot. Rebound, Mark West. And he's fouled.
The Phoenix Suns are more aggressive than the Chicago Bulls. They are a step quicker than the Chicago Bulls on both ends of the court.
Well, the crowd reacts because Will Perdue is over at the scorer's table. He has been a forgotten man through the playoffs. This his first appearance in this series.
I'll tell you the reason for that. Right now, Phoenix is beating Chicago 19-7 on the glass, 8-0 in offensive rebounds. As a result, they've got 9 more shot attempts at the basket. This is Perdue's chance to come in the game and show he can help out.
Not only that, Mike, but also give the team some energy. Right now, they have no energy. They're flat. They need somebody to pick them up, and I think he's going to try to go with Will Perdue to do that.
And Scott Williams departs. B.J. Armstrong, John Paxson, Michael Jordan on the floor. 3-guard alignment for Phil Jackson along with Will Perdue and Horace Grant. Mark West is not a good free throw shooter, but he hit his first to extend to a 10-point lead. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad, and Hannah Storm from Chicago. Bob Costas will be on hand with the Prudential halftime report. 6 on the 24. And Grant gets it back out. Here's Paxson straight away for 3. Well, this is a familiar role for John Paxson. He's hit 2 from downtown. In June of '91, he scored 10 of the Bulls, 12 points down the stretch, 20 points overall. That's a travel. As Paxson helped the Bulls knock off your Los Angeles Lakers. That was in '91. And then last year he nailed 2 20-footers and then set up Michael Jordan in some key situations in the pivotal Game 5 of the championship series against Portland. And he has played a major role here in the first half. Paxson again. Has been the spark in a 17-5 run by the Bulls the last 6.5 minutes. John Paxson against your Lakers, Magic. 65% shooting off the bench, averaged better than 13 a game, and a year ago against Portland he also was instrumental.
But he was the real key in beating us because he's doing the same thing tonight that he did to us. When we played the Bulls, we got out to an early lead, then here he come with a couple of threes and got them going, and the same thing he's doing here tonight.
Armstrong plays the back tap. Jordan met by Johnson. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Phoenix with a 4-point lead. They've led by as many as 16. Well, Armstrong had the step, but Dumas knocked it away. 9 on the 24.
I think that the Phoenix Suns must, on offense, come right back to Charles Barkley. We haven't seen that in the last couple of minutes, and that's what got them this early lead.
Jordan, difficult shot. Michael Jordan with the turnaround. He has 9, and the Bulls are within 2.
And to back up what you're saying, Magic, the Bulls bench has outscored the Suns bench 11-2 to this point because the starters, Barkley, were getting all the points for him.
Blocking foul committed by Paxson.
The Bulls personal foul.
Down low, Michael Jordan knows if he catches it quick enough and turns before the double team can get to him, he'll be able to shoot it over the top of KJ. Then on the crossover, Kevin Johnson beats Paxson. The rotation over a little bit late, body contact, KJ goes to the foul line.
Suns have missed 6 of their last 7 shots. Suns now lead by 3 points. They led after 133-21. Charles Barkley, Richard Dumas getting off to the good starts. But the Bulls turning it. John Paxson hitting 3 3-pointers. Michael Jordan showing some signs after not looking to shoot for a long stretch. Jordan on the follow. Suns 40. The Bulls 38. Johnson off the dribble. Dumas played by Purdue. Richard Dumas getting it over Will Purdue, and Dumas has 12 points. Phoenix leads by 4. Armstrong for 3.
See, BJ got that 3-pointer because 2 men jumped out at Michael Jordan, and he was able to spot BJ free and clear in the corner and give him the ball.
Suns by 1. 5.5 remaining in the first half. Danny Ainge tried the 3-pointer. Grant with the rebound. So the Bulls have settled down after the shaky start, trailing by as many as 16. Paxson head up tight by Johnson. Joey Crawford, the outside official, looking for help from Jess Kersey. And they're saying Chicago maintains possession.
Well, let me tell you what happened. First, KJ hit his arm, and the ball really went off of John, but they said, well, since we didn't call the foul, we're going to get the ball back to the Chicago Bulls.
Jordan, yes.
You know, that was an experiment to see if he could use that same dribble move against Kevin Johnson that he uses against Dan Marley.
Bulls have taken a 1-point lead. West had it knocked away and a foul called. Grant looking for the steal.
The right to left crossover move by Jordan is the one that he likes. Here, he becomes an offensive rebounder to help that way. Here, he tries right to left. I use that against Marley, it works. I use it against KJ, it works. A little bit of experimentation early in the game for Michael.
Grant Purdue converging on that steal attempt. Purdue was called for the foul. Johnson. Grant rebound. Bulls with the lead for the first time tonight. Armstrong passed on the 3. Hits the 2. Chicago 45. Phoenix 42. 4:20 left. First half.
When do you establish an inside game? Get some free throws. Break this run.
Barkley will go to the foul line. He was tripped up. Foul committed by Armstrong.
Well, what happens here is he's going to pump fake Richard Dumas, who he caught running at him, and then just go on and knock it down as he got away from Richard Dumas. And the bench reaction, yeah, we love it. there's Williams trying to get the crowd to stand up and cheer and holler.
Chicago in the midst of a 29 run, the last 9 minutes, 45 seconds.
And whenever you get a team who goes on a run like that, there's only certain ways that you can stop it. One, obviously, is dig in and play defense. But the other is, if you're not making any shots from the floor, as John Paxson goes off and the crowd shows its appreciation for what he's just done for him. But the other way to stop the run is go to the foul line, get some free throws, stop the game momentum.
Bulls by 1. Charles Barkley trying to spark his ball club up. We're down to 4 minutes to go in this first half. Armstrong, Barkley with the rebound. Barkley nearly had it picked off on that dribble.
Charles calling for the ball, telling Kevin, dribble right back here and give it to me again in the same spot as last time.
Johnson penetrates. Kevin Johnson saw the opening, took advantage. Suns lead by 1.
Now the last 2 possessions, they ran the ball through Charles Barkley. They get 4 points. That's what I'm saying. Keep doing that. If you're a Phoenix Sun, you gotta love it, especially Paul Westphal.
It's Armstrong trying the 3, and Barkley rips it down. Marley. Good luck from Barkley. Spotting Marley, who was able to sneak down. Armstrong resets. Scottie Pippen. So the Bulls now have hit a drought after the hot shooting. Marley for 3. Oh, he was surprised that he had that kind of room.
Well, he kind of faked like he was going to pass it inside, and both men went that way to the ball fake, and he just raised for the 3.
Marley hit 3 from downtown in game 4. He had the 6 in the triple overtime. And Barkley leads the Suns back. A little too much dribble by Charles. Dumas. Yes. Suns 51 and the Bulls 45.
See, when he's got his feet set, that being Richard Dumas, he can hit those shots. He has trouble when he has to move left to right to get his shot off, but when he's at a standstill, he can knock it down.
22nd timeout taken by Chicago.
Kevin Johnson sees the opening down the lane. He can't believe it's going to be that easy getting to the front of the rim. And then, as Magic said, when you back off this guy, you're asking for a headache, a 3 for Dan Marley.
2:08 remaining in this first half.
Okay, coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll talk with the Pistons' Isaiah Thomas. Detroit, of course, had a chance to three-peat back in 1991, but they were beaten by the Bulls in the conference finals. And we'll talk with Magic Johnson. His Lakers won back-to-back titles in '87 and '88, but their bid to win 3 straight was ended by the Pistons in the finals. Isaiah and Magic coming up on the subject of attempting to three-peat, but of course, the Phoenix Suns will have a lot to say about that. It is far from a foregone conclusion. The Prudential Halftime Report in just a few moments, but right now back courtside as we rejoin Mark, Mike, and Magic.
All right, Bob. Suns with a 9-0 run after the Bulls took a 45-42 lead.
After the last game, when Chicago went up 3-1, Cotton Fitzsimmons ran across the floor to me on the way out and said, you know what? Everybody thinks this thing is over. He said, I'll tell you what, next game, the Suns will be very, very competitive. He said, you have a bunch of fighters and battlers on that team. They'll come back next game.
Cotton Fitzsimmons, Senior Executive Vice President of the Suns, color commentator on the radio broadcast. Michael Jordan, 7 of 11. He has 15 points. Suns with a 51-47 lead with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Now Barkley guarded by King. Drew the foul. So Charles will go to the line.
Well, Michael Jordan, he said, well, if I can't get to the basket tonight, I'll just pull up and take my jump shot. You see that he had his head down, that froze Dan Marley, and he just jumped right up for his jump shot once he saw Dan Marley backing up.
Foul committed by Scott Williams. Suns 6 of 7 from the line. The Bulls 2 of 2. Free throw shooting, killing Chicago. In game number 4, though they were able to win it. Oh, Charles. Charles being a little tough on himself.
Yeah, Charles is Charles, but you know he's playing a great game. I think he's been an emotional leader as well as a leader on the court. He's making the plays. He wants the ball, and he's leading his team right now. He's the reason why they're leading this basketball game right now.
And the Suns have a 5-point lead. Minute 35 remaining first half. Chicago's done the job off the bench. Phil Jackson not pleased with the starters. Jordan had the shot deflected from behind.
Oliver Miller came right from behind him as he turned and beat KJ for the jump shot. Oliver Miller blocked it from the blind side.
Jordan. And it's knocked away by Ames.
You mentioned that Phil Jackson not happy with his starters. In fact, in the last timeout, that was the message, that the starting unit is out of sync. You've got to get back into running the stuff. Patience, execution, the two key words.
He does have Stacey King and Scott Williams joining Jordan, Pippen, and Armstrong. Michael Jordan has 17. Suns 52. The Bulls 49 as we come up on 1 minute left in the first half. Barkley with a spin. Charles Barkley with a gorgeous move. And the Suns now lead by 5. He left Scott Williams behind him off the fake. That's a leg block, so the Bulls get a new 24.
Well, what happens is right here, Charles is going to fake like he's going to the middle. He's going to spin baseline. See you later. Don't bother to jump. I'm going to dunk right in your face.
18 for Barkley. Armstrong trying to give it back. Deflected out by the Suns.
Two things I see in this game that is different from maybe game number 4 is that the Phoenix Suns are more aggressive on their defensive end, and they're not letting Chicago get to the basket. Then on Chicago's defensive end, they're a step slow. They're not pressuring anybody like they had been in the first 4 games.
We mentioned back in the open, 36 shots per game for Michael Jordan, his average after the first 4 games. To this point, he has 14 in this game. That's 14 shots, not points.
Yes, 8 for 14 from the field. You saw John Paxson check back in. He's had the hot hand. 22nd timeout has been called. This is game 5 of the best of 7 NBA Final Series. Bulls up 3 games to 1. Recapping game 1 in Phoenix. Michael Jordan with 31. The Bulls won it 100-92. Jordan with 42 points in game 2. And Chicago made a 2 out of 2 in Phoenix. The scene shifts to Chicago Stadium in game 3 in triple overtime as Dan Marley was able to convert on a NBA Finals record-tying 6 3-pointers. The Suns won it 129-121. Game 4 on Wednesday. Jordan with the 55 points and the Bulls with the 111-105 victory. Michael Jordan, the 5th player in NBA history to score 50 or more in an NBA Finals game. And he did it for the most part off the drive. He has varied it here this evening.
Probably give it to Charles, middle of the floor, similar to what they did at the end of the game against San Antonio. He would like to get a running start and face up if he could with about 8 on the shot clock, then get going at around 6.
You see him talking to Scottie Pippen as he's dribbling.
Time running out of the half. Now to 1, Barkley. Well, they used the clock effectively, but could not convert. The Suns led by as many as 16 in the first quarter. Chicago able to turn it around, and at the half, it's Phoenix 54 and Chicago 49.
Well, here he is. He's going to be talking to Scottie Pippen, telling him, you can't guard me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take you to the basket. But he didn't score the basket.
get the idea Charles a little too tense for these games. Takes it too seriously.
Well, right now, only thing he can do is be comfortable, because they're in trouble.
And that's the way he is able to psych himself. Barkley with 18, Jordan with 17 at the half.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Halftime of Game 5 in Chicago. The Suns leading the Bulls 54-49. Barkley with 18. Jordan, who comes in averaging what would be a finals record 43 points a game through the first 4, with 17 at the half, and the Suns lead by 5. All right, here's the premise. We have with us Magic Johnson calling the game, of course, with Marvin Mike. And joining us from the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, where he's with his kids at Disney World, Isaiah Thomas. They were the leaders of the last 2 teams to win back-to-back championships. Each was thwarted in their efforts to three-peat. Let's begin with you, Magic. You were quoted earlier in the week as saying that while the Bulls certainly are one of the great teams of all time and belong in the conversation, you believe your Laker champions of, let's say, 85 or 87, both teams beat the Celtics in the finals, either one of them could beat these Bulls.
Well, because we had more weapons. I think that what happens sometimes, the Bulls rely on Michael too much. And what I was saying, that if you get me in foul trouble and get Michael in foul trouble, take us both out, you would see what would happen. You know, our team would dominate them. I mean, who's going to stop Kareem? And we had so many more weapons. It's just we would beat them.
Isaiah, your thoughts on your Piston teams that won back-to-back before the Chicago Bulls beat you in a sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals in 1991, and that started them on the road to their first of 2 in a row, now verging on 3. Could the best of those Pistons clubs beat these Chicago Bulls?
Well, I think it would have been a very interesting games in terms of matchups. I think the thing that really hurt us, if you remember, after we won our first championship, was expansion, and we lost Ricky Mahorn, and we weren't able to do a couple of other things that we wanted to do with the draft and everything else. So it would have been interesting to see how well our team would have fared against this Bulls team. But, you know, when you're talking about this Bulls team, you're really only talking about Michael Jordan. And, you know, you can't really say that, you know, our team would have beat him or the Lakers team would have beat him, because nobody really has found out a way to stop this guy. Now, sure, yeah, if you take Michael away and you take Magic away and you take me away and you take Michael away, yeah, then our teams are better, but the fact is, he's still there.
It seems to me, though, that although teams peak at different times, when the Pistons were beating the Bulls, you had the right kind of defense. You were a tremendous defensive team and physical. You could rough the Bulls up. And with you and Joe Dumars in the backcourt, Michael really had to work on the defensive end. You were often running him into picks and wearing him out.
Well, the thing that amazes me about Michael Jordan and about I think the rest of the players in the league is his stamina and his endurance. The thing that I wasn't able to do, the thing that Magic wasn't able to do, we succumbed to injuries. We didn't have the type of stamina, the type of energy level that Michael seems to possess every single night, whether he's playing against the worst team in the league or the best team in the league. He has an energy level that's unmatched by any other player or any other athlete that I've seen in professional sports. Whether it be basketball, football, baseball, track, tennis, his energy level is so much greater than ours, it seems, that night in, night out, he's there performing at a level that we frankly just weren't able to reach, and that's why he's there tonight, healthy and trying to three-peat, and Magic and I succumbed to injuries.
High praise, that's for sure. Isaiah and Magic, stick with us. We'll continue in just a moment after this from Prudential. Well, that's the topic, a possible three-peat by these Chicago Bulls, and we're talking it over with Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. Magic, a large part of this question is the era in which a team tries to accomplish it. You and Larry Bird were at your respective peaks at the same time, so the Celtics and the Lakers often went head-to-head, and earlier in the decade, the Celtics would meet the 76ers in the Eastern Conference Finals, or you guys would meet them in the finals. Otherwise, the Celtics or Lakers might have had even more in succession.
Well, that's true. You know, we had the deal with the Boston Celtics, who was a fierce team to play against, who was a championship team. We had to beat them a couple of times. They beat us. And then also we had to deal with Detroit when they came up and they had risen to the championship level. But let me just say this. No question that Michael would have scored 50 on us or 50 on anybody else because he's just a great basketball player. But I think we would have held everybody else down and not take anything away from the Bulls, because I'm going to be very upset if he three-peats, that being Michael Jordan, because he's going to have something over me. See, I can tease him about my 5 championships. Now he's going to be able to, if he does it, be able to tease me about three-peating, and something I couldn't do.
Of course, 5 titles for you and 4 other times in the finals, and each of the 4 times you lost, it was against certifiably great teams. Isaiah's already praised Michael to the heavens. One more quick one from you, Magic, then back to Isaiah. Do you feel that Michael is the best ever?
I think so. I think he's not only the best basketball player, but probably the greatest athlete that's ever played any sport. And I also think that I had to give praise to another guy in Larry Bird. He was probably the most fierce competitor that I've ever faced. But Michael Jordan is not only the best basketball player, but he's the most exciting basketball player to ever play. We only dream about doing things that he can do, and that being Isaiah and myself.
Isaiah, quick thought about the second half. The Phoenix Suns come right into the teeth of it here, and yet they lead at halftime. This is supposed to be a Bulls coronation, but the Suns are not succumbing easily.
Well, I think what happened the first half, if you go back to the start of the game when you had the shot on the chalkboard that said win one game, Phoenix came out to play a basketball game when Chicago came out competing with destiny and history. And if the second half, holds true to the fact that Phoenix is still playing a basketball game and Chicago is competing for history or destiny, then Phoenix is going to win the game, because you got to win the basketball game in order to win the championship or to go to the next level. And right now Phoenix is playing a basketball game and Chicago is talking about history and destiny. So one of the teams has lost focus.
Isaiah, thanks a lot. Always great to talk with you. We'll hear from Magic, of course, in the second half with Mike and Marv. Let's quickly turn to Quinn Buckner up here in the perch. John Paxson, for one, on fire for the Bulls in the first half. Otherwise, Phoenix's lead would be much larger.
Well, there's no question about it. I think Isaiah was right on target about what happened in the game. John Paxson was brought in to give some energy, to get some basketball style back, accustomed to the kind of play that the Bulls normally have. Without that, they really struggled. You see the ball fake against Charles Barkley, and Paxson makes one of his 3 3-pointers. The thing that you've got to say is everybody came here tonight thinking Phoenix had a tough battle and we're going to get beat easily. Obviously, they came to play this game.
Even if the Bulls come back and win this in 5, it's going to be much tougher than it'll look on paper 20 years from now. The Suns have been in every game, and they lead by 5 here at the half. We'll get back to Marv, Mike, and Magic right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
At the half here in Chicago, the Phoenix Suns with a 54-49 lead on the Chicago Bulls. Now, all year on our NBC telecast, we have brought you Miller Genuine Draft's Genuine Moments. Here now, a look at some of the genuine moments from this year's NBA playoffs.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments of the NBA Finals.
It's playoff time in the NBA, and you can't beat the playoffs.
Johnson sets up Mourning. Oh, the horn to Petro. Wants 3.
Gill has Curry, followed by Johnson. For Barkley, here comes Sir Charles. Whammo! Hey, this game's not over now.
Charlotte out of timeout. Here's Mourning, the shot.
To Marley, can he hit another? A new NBA record, 8 trays for Marley.
Devin McHale will be in the Hall of Fame.
It's his game to win, or we go to overtime. Barkley, 20-footer, yes, with 1.8 seconds. Starks. What a move by Starks. 7 on the shot clock. He's got it.
two. Michael falls, fires.
Yeah! Does it again!
The ball's wet. He looks at the crowd.
And in the first half tonight, Michael Jordan, 8 of 14, 17 points, but went through a stretch of 9 minutes and 16 seconds without taking a shot.
The significance tonight about Michael is the fact that Phoenix has made a commitment to go get him earlier on double teams. First, he's not getting to the rim with penetration. They've taken that away, and that shows up with the fact that he has no free throw attempts in the first half of the game. You take away his penetration, he has to kick out. The only thing he's gone to now is post up and shoot quickly over the top of Kevin Johnson.
And Magic, you said right at the start of the telecast that the Suns should go right for Charles Barkley, and it should be Barkley's ball game, and that obviously was their philosophy. Look at the stat line, 7 of 12, 18 points for Barkley.
Well, I felt that Charles should do what Michael did in Game 4. Come out and try to get as many points as possible to lead his team to victory. And right now, it seems like he's on that pace. If Charles Barkley can continue to score as well as set his teammates up for easy shots, Phoenix is going to win this game.
Well, for more on the Phoenix Suns, let's go to Hannah Storm with Phoenix coach Paul Westphal.
Thanks, Marv. Coach, you wanted a commitment to defense in this game after what happened in the last game, and you've gotten it particularly against Michael Jordan. I know that Kevin Johnson draws the primary assignment against Jordan, but all your guys seem to be contributing against him.
Well, we're playing some great defense tonight, and I just think that it's a civic-minded thing on our part. We know that they burn the city down here if they win a championship, so we're trying to save the city of Chicago tonight. We've enjoyed our week.
You're going to continue to go with your rallying cry of 5 men on Michael in the second half?
Well, we just want to keep doing what we've been doing. We're really moving our feet on defense, and it does make a difference.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Have a good second half. Marv?
Thank you. How to hear it today's Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics. Field goals, Phoenix at 50%, 23 of 46. Chicago picked it up after the bad start, 21 of 44, 48%. And Michael Jordan, 8 out of 14, 17 points, also has 6 assists. We'll be back with the third quarter in a moment. Welcome back to Chicago. Just moments ago, Ahmad talked with Bulls coach Phil Jackson.
All right, thanks, Marv. Phil, a bit of a shaky start.
Well, they came out and hit everything they took. I mean, they went at one time, I think it was 15 for 18 on their trips up and down the floor, plus they got rebounds. They played very well to start with. We had to really get emotional about the game, come back.
Besides the deficit on the rebounds, what about more contribution from your starters?
Well, that'll help. You know, Horace hasn't got into the ball game yet. Bill hasn't got himself really going either, so we'd like to get them going this start of this third quarter. But, you know, we need boards, and we thrive off defense.
All right, good luck to you in the second half, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, back to you, Marv.
And third quarter is underway with Richard Dumas taking it to the hoop, drawing the foul, and he will go to the line. Dumas with 16 points.
Play the two-man game with different people. This time Dumas sets the screen, rolls, converts, and gets fouled. The opportunity now for the three-point play.
Bill Cartwright called for the foul. 8 of 9 from the field for Dumas. It is a three-point play. The Suns 57, the Bulls 49. Marv Albert, all of the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad, Hannah Storm working the sidelines. Suns in one stretch led by as many as 16. The Bulls able to turn it around and come back. Pippen, oh, beautiful move by Scottie Pippen, who has 14. Phoenix leads by 6. Kevin Johnson played on a switch. It's Barkley, West, Dumas up front. Johnson and Marley at the guard. Johnson being played by Grant, shot over him, rebounded by Cartwright.
See, the problem with that was you had Michael Jordan on Charles Barkley in the low post. Throw that ball down in there. Charles has been having an excellent game already. There's a foul right there.
Scottie Pippen a moment ago on the baseline makes the quick move, one dribble on the floor, able to get to the rim. But going back to what Magic had said, there were two decisions to be made. Should KJ try and take Grant off the dribble, or should he get the ball down low to Barkley versus Michael? That time it should have gone to Barkley.
Pippen's pass picked off by Dumas. Now Dumas played on a switch by Armstrong, and Barkley setting it up. Dumas looking to post up, ran over to help. Barkley has a three-pointer lined up. it will be Chicago in possession.
In the first half, from the perimeter, Charles Barkley 3 for 6 from the outside, which is very good for him compared to other games from the outside. Inside, Barkley was 4 for 6 in the first half.
And Barkley 0 for 3 from three-point land. Kevin Johnson guarding Michael Jordan. Shot clock at 5. Jordan cuts it to a 4-point Phoenix lead. 19 points for Jordan. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Chicago Bulls seeking to wrap the series in 5. The Phoenix Suns want to take it back to Phoenix for a game 6 on Sunday night. Mark West. Rebounded by West.
One thing Chicago has to guard against is thinking in their minds that, you know what, we can just hang around close enough, and then we'll put on a surge down the stretch. Have to watch out with the way Phoenix can score points. If they get hot in the last couple of minutes, you may not be able to catch them.
Oh, Dumas able to hit on the scoop, and he drew the foul.
Well, what's happening here is that, first of all, Michael Jordan is just going to take KJ as close as he can to the basket and then jump right over him. He's been doing that all evening. And then on the other end, Richard Dumas has been living off the double teaming of Charles Barkley. He just finds an open area time and time again. Charles gets in the ball and he takes it to the basket.
And the foul was called on Jordan. Michael Jordan is second. Suns 59 and the Bulls 53.
Phoenix 11 free throw attempts, Chicago 2.
Bulls were cold at the end of the first half, hitting only 2 of their last 9. Pippen tried to set up Cartwright, went off his chest.
Between Bill Cartwright and Horace Grant, Chicago has received 2 points on the scoreboard to this point in the game.
And Horace Grant comes off a superb all-around performance on Wednesday, but as you mentioned, he has been very quiet. It's Dumas again, serving up a facial. The Suns lead by 8.
I love what the Phoenix Suns are doing in their half-court offense. They're really executing their offensive play in the half-court very well.
Michael Jordan line drives it home. Phoenix 61 and Chicago 55. West setting the pick. And Marley has been very quiet. Richard Dumas with all 7 Phoenix points this third quarter. Barkley, yes. Charles Barkley has 20. The Suns 63. The Bulls 55. Cartwright over to set the screen. Now Cartwright with the open shot. Kevin Johnson, played by Michael Jordan. They isolate for Barkley. No help, and Barkley puts it down. Charles went one-on-one with Horace Grant, and Phil Jackson is very unhappy.
You get to a certain point where you've got to make a decision now. Do you get the ball out of Charles Barkley's hands earlier than you've been coming? But the guy who has been playing so well for them, the rookie Richard Dumas, again the pick and roll game with Kevin Johnson and the conversion. When do you come and get it out of Charles's hands? Because he's just too much one-on-one down low.
And Paul Westphal said, yeah, that's the way to do it.
7:36 remaining in the third. Phoenix by 10.
NBA on NBC is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By AT&T, the official telecommunications company of the NBA. And by Coppertone Sports Sunblock. Provides all-day UVA and UVB protection.
Welcome back to Chicago. The Suns lead by 10, and that man, Richard Dumas, rookie from Oklahoma State, in games 2, 3, and 4, provided a jump start. That's the term that Paul Westphal likes to use concerning the play of Dumas, who would get the minutes early, but would not play much in the second half. Well, tonight, he has done it in the first half, and here in the early moments of the third quarter, Dumas with 21 points, and has had the hot hand. He's 10 of 11 from the field.
But Marv, what the fans should understand with Richard Dumas, his man is always leaving to go double team. So tonight he's finding an open area where they can get in the ball and he can score off of that double team.
Well, Purdue back on the floor, not able to hit on that tip, and it's Dumas again. Well, following a strong regular season, Dumas struggled in the first round of the playoffs against the Los Angeles Lakers, had his problems against Seattle, and then turned it around. In fact, sat out completely in game number 7 with Tom Chambers playing most of the way against Seattle. And Dumas has come on in the first hands of this series. Will Purdue off the mark? Suns by 12 and back to the offense. Phoenix has hit its last 5 shots. Barkley off the fake and the double pump, and he's called for the up and down. It's a travel violation.
Richard Dumas in transition is picked up by Michael Jordan. He just catches, elevates up over the top of Michael Jordan, playing with a tremendous amount of confidence right now.
Well, because he's been scoring early. See, he's got the confidence because he's been playing good, and he played good in the first half.
Jordan is off. Dumas with the rebound. John Lucas, now the coach of the San Antonio Spurs, and a man who was so instrumental, as Armstrong is called for the foul, so instrumental in the recovery from a drug problem suffered by Richard Dumas. John Lucas coaching the Miami Tropics of the USBL. Dumas a member of that squad. John may have gotten a little carried away with the comparison, but he said somewhere down the road, we're looking at another Julius Erving. That was the comparison he made, which may be a little bit too much, but John has been a great supporter of this guy. Rookie from Oklahoma State, Richard Dumas, played 2 years at Oklahoma State, then he played 1 season in Israel. Here's Pippen on the run against West, and he's fouled.
See, that's what they didn't do last game. Now they're hard fouling. Now they say no layups. And this is what happens. And that's why the Phoenix Suns are playing as good as they're playing. Because, see, here they say, okay, Scotty, you go into the hole, we're going to foul you, send you to the free throw line.
I want to go back to that statement that John Lucas made about Richard Dumas. There was a little more to that sentence comparing him to Dr. J. He said we may be seeing a Dr. J with a better jump shot, however.
Well, John is a good friend of mine, and I like John. But I don't see no Dr. J in Richard Dumas. Now, I see some similarities when he take it to the basket and dunk on people. But Dr. J is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever play. Richard Dumas got a long way, but I do like Richard Dumas' game, and he's come on strong here tonight.
The Suns able to elude the trap. Marley for 3, yes! And Marley hitting his second from downtown, and the Suns open up a 13-point lead.
They're playing loose. You can see it. They come down, pitch ahead, stop behind the three-point line, let it go, and that's the weapon they've used all year to win.
Pippen is fouled, sandwiched between Marley and Miller.
Pitch ahead, stop behind the three-point line, and get it up there before Chicago can rotate back out. Dan Marley extends the defense, puts tremendous pressure on you, and once again, this cross-matching defensively. What I mean is the unusual matchups that Phoenix is playing. KJ on MJ, Charles guarding Cartwright, Dumas playing BJ. It's hurting Chicago just as it did in Game 3. Last time out, Ahmad overheard the staff talking about it to the players. You've got to cover for each other when they're cross-matching you. It's been a problem in runouts.
Ahmad overheard the staff sneaking his way in.
Scoop Rashad.
Yes. 12-point Phoenix Suns lead. And a foul called down low. It's a hold on Grant. That is his second.
Well, here it is right here. It's inside Charles. What happened, Horace grabbed his arm, and then Charles couldn't get free.
Dumas from Miller did not have the shot. Works it back out. Pippen with the steal. 3-on-2. Suns able to recover. Jordan. Stop from behind. Dumas got a piece of it. And Dumas will finish it off.
Again, the defense, 3 people surrounding the basketball. In the Phoenix locker room just before the game, the one thing they talked about was, let's guard people out there tonight.
An 18-9 run by the Suns, and they lead by 14. Charles Barkley says, following that feisty Game 4, that things are now different in terms of physical play, in particular against Michael Jordan driving the lane. And that is a subject that we discussed with Charles.
I think they're playing against the old Phoenix Suns who let people bully them around and intimidate them. And we're not like that anymore. And if anybody says anything to my teammates, they're going to have to go through me.
Is it tough getting riled up at Michael?
Not at all. Not if he's trying to intimidate. Michael's a master at intimidation verbally. And he probably can intimidate some people, but he can't intimidate Danny Ainge. And hopefully, if he go after Danny, we'll have to go after him.
Yes, Danny Ainge and Michael Jordan got into it in game number 4. Jordan just drilled that corner jump, so the Suns now lead 72-60 with 4:20 remaining in the third quarter. Jordan has 23 points. Now Scott Williams guarding Charles Barkley. Charles continues to struggle from the outside.
See what happened the first 3 games, Chicago was doing all the hitting. Now in these last 2 games, especially tonight, Phoenix is doing a lot of the hitting. 3-pointer.
Paxson hits the 3. He is 4 for 4 from downtown. Suns lead 72-63. Kevin Johnson, rebounded by Scottie Pippen. Jordan for 3. Yes. So Phoenix calls for time.
Since they've come out of the timeout, Chicago has hit 3 jump shots. Michael Jordan a 2, Paxson with the 3, then right back to Michael Jordan, who winds up getting behind the 3-point line for a 3-pointer. 8 straight points since the last timeout. And for Phoenix, the problem is you live by the sword, you die by the sword. They were making jump shots early. Since that last timeout, Phoenix has had Barkley miss a jumper, KJ miss a jumper. Chicago's right back.
Well, you know why? Because they're doing it, they're trying to do it individually. Before, they were making jump shots because they went inside to Charles Barkley and let him set the offense for everybody else.
Remember Game 6 last year, Chicago and Portland. The Bulls were down 15 after 3, and they came back to win the game with a 33-14 run in the fourth quarter. Phoenix has gone cold. Chicago now showing signs of coming on. Jordan just off the mark with that pass.
Just let it go a little bit too soon, Michael, so it was a little high and fading away, kind of like a screwball. He needed a curve in that situation.
Kevin Johnson. 14 for Johnson. Phoenix 74, Chicago 66. 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. Paxson 4 of 4 from 3-point land. Nice pass. Stacey King will go to the line off the good setup by Scottie Pippen.
Trying to get the crowd involved in the game. Phil Jackson asked the guards, help us rebound on the glass. Michael Jordan way up in the air from the outside position to get this crowd involved. He sees Scottie underneath, but the ball just a little bit too high. He knows it. Opportunity for 2 that just slipped away.
Stacey King on the line for the first time. A 70% free throw shooter. Danny Ainge is back. Richard Dumas will sit down. Dumas with 25 points on 12 of 14. And Scott Williams departs.
Phil Jackson brings back the three-point brigade, brings in Paxson, has BJ out there, and Michael Jordan.
Phoenix leading 74-68. The Phoenix Suns try to take this series back to a Game 6 Sunday night in Phoenix. Chicago looking to wrap it to make it 3 straight wins. Paxson with another good play. Jordan, he'll go to the line.
On the foul line, a little bit unusual type of box out. Barkley knows MJ's quicker. He might try to fake him out. So he face guards him on the block out so that Michael can't get to the rim in case of a miss.
And this is the first time that Michael has gone to the basket and got fouled. And this will be his first free throw attempt.
Oliver Miller called for that foul, his third. Suns over the limit. Michael Jordan has been off at the free throw line, only 13 for 18 on Wednesday night. And you can see the progression in the series. The Bulls down to the line 10 times tonight. Suns by 5, just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Barkley played by Pippen. Barkley dumped it off. Nice play. Oliver Miller completing it.
Every time that the Chicago Bulls come back to make a run, then the Phoenix Suns come right back with a run of their own.
Suns have a 7-point lead. Armstrong for 3. Miller got the good inside position. Marley for 3. Ames with the rebound. Crowd groans every time they see Marley has an open 3-point shot. Looking for a travel. Johnson had it knocked away by Pippen. 3-on-1, 4-on-1. It's Jordan. The Suns 76. The Bulls 71. 45 seconds to go. Third quarter. And a foul on Pippen. Pippen with the shove to get to that pass.
Scottie Pippen knew that he couldn't muscle Charles Barkley out of the low post area. His only chance was to try and gamble and get around, but you can't use your hands to throw the offensive man out of the way. The strip by Paxson, they've got 3-on-1 numbers until number 23 decides to jump in there. Now it's 4-on-1. Michael with the finish.
Now both teams are over a foul limit. You mentioned Michael with the finish. He's finishing strong. He has 12 points in this third quarter for a total of 29 in all. Barkley 4 of 5 from the line.
Frank Johnson,
23 for Barkley. Frank Johnson returns to give Kevin Johnson a breather.
Charles continue right here to tell Scottie Pippen, you can't guard me. Every time we come down, I'm going to take you one-on-one. And they're drawing back and forth at each other.
Now, if you're sitting there saying, well, then why do they have Scottie Pippen guarding him? It's because of the cross-matching at the other end. When Phoenix runs out, many times you have to play who's playing you. You wind up with bad matchups.
Half-minute left, third quarter. Pippen. Oh, tipped home. Terrific follow by Pippen.
Now, Scottie is telling Charles, you can't guard me. I just took you. So we'll see what happens here.
Suns by 5. They trap Johnson. Third quarter winding down. And a foul called by Jess Kersey against the Bulls. It's on Stacey King.
Little conversation taking place inside. Charles, Scottie, on that last time down, when Scotty shot it and missed, he just out-quicked Charles to the basketball. He used that extra effort, the second effort, to go get it. Charles, on the other end, tries to overpower Scotty.
Oliver Miller, 70% free throw shooter. And now Charles Barkley will get a rest. Barkley played 23 of 24 minutes in the first half. Here's the conversation continuing between Pippen and Barkley. Miller converts on both. The Suns now lead 80-73. Final seconds. Third quarter. Jordan directing traffic. Jordan with the pull-up for three. Rebound Miller. And time runs out. Well, the Chicago Bulls trying to accomplish something that has not been done in 27 years. Looking to become only the third team in the history of the NBA to win 3 in a row. We're headed to the fourth quarter. The Bulls are down by 7. Suns want to take it back to Phoenix. We'll be back after this from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
If you want to know how all the trash talking got started, it was on this play. And after this play, Charles Barkley started telling Scottie Pippen, you can't guard me, I'm not going anywhere. And then after Charles had scored that play, then Scottie came right back and scored on Charles and said, I'm not going anywhere either. Now finally, Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns have realized that, hey, we can be friends off the court some other time, but we can't be friends on the court and try to win a championship. Now they're bumping, hitting the Bulls like they never did in the first 3 games and in the first 4 games, and now they're starting to do that tonight.
Charles Barkley sitting down. Michael Jordan sitting down for the very first time and playing the first 36 minutes. Trent Tucker has checked in. Barkley 9 of 16, 24 points. Scottie Pippen 7 of 16 for 19 points.
So with Michael finally sitting down, Phil Jackson has asked Scottie Pippen and B.J. Armstrong to take over and running and directing his team.
Foul call. Miller came from behind Grant. Horace Grant is 0 for 4 from the field. He was a huge factor in game number 4. Horace Grant with 16 points, or the 17 points, 16 rebounds, plus 3 blocked shots. But a different story thus far tonight.
A reason for that, Marv, he's got to be tired physically. Guarding Charles Barkley, as many nights as he's been playing him, Charles Barkley puts his body on you consistently. He just bangs you around, and it's got to take its toll. One day in between rest of games, it's taking its toll on Horace Grant.
Grant sent to the line off a foul called on West. For West, it's 3, and Horace misses on both. But the Bulls maintain possession on that back tap. Now Miller guarding Pippen. And Pippen decides to move it back out.
Rather than go solo, trying to get him back into running something.
The Suns 80, the Bulls 73 as this fourth quarter gets underway. And Frank Johnson now operating at point guard.
I wonder if Phoenix will continue to freewheel and play the way they've been playing, or if they're going to start to tighten up a little bit down the stretch here.
Johnson for Miller. Miller on the tip. Nice recovery by the rookie from Arkansas. Has played well. He has 8 points. The Suns 82 and the Bulls 73. A minute gone by in the fourth. Grant guarded by West. Shot clock at 7. Tucker. Trent Tucker rarely effective off the dribble in a clutch shot with the shot clock down to 4.
A guy who had been getting in early rotations in previous games. Tucker did not play in the first half.
Suns lead by 7. Marley was pushed. Foul called on Pippen. That's 4 on Pippen.
Well, missing the first one, not a problem. Again, it's twice Miller done that in the game. Follow up his own shot. Jordan hoping his teammates will get a body on and box out. Not happy with it.
Ainge leading Miller. And that's a traveling violation.
Well, that's Tom Chambers in that situation, that's a jumper going up there.
You know what? If I'm Paul Westphal, I would bring Chambers in where he can get that shot off because they're double teaming the pick and roll, and I don't think Oliver Miller or Mark West can score from it.
Chambers has played only 1 minute. He was 1 for 9 on Wednesday night in Game 4. And has seen only 1 minute of action here tonight.
There's another side to that, though, Mark. The other side of it is, and not to take anything away from Chambers and the steal by Phoenix, Marley out in front. But with Miller and West the entire game, all we've been saying is how good their inside defense is. You need those guys on. When Chambers is on the floor, they don't respect any shot blocking ability or wide bodies out there.
You sound like a coach. I sound like a player.
Marley, nice move.
This was an important time of the game because both benches are in. Whoever takes advantage of the both superstars being out might have a better chance to win this game, especially down the stretch.
Both coaches now thinking about the decision, when do you bring back Barkley and Jordan? Scott Williams with his first field goal. The Suns 84 and the Bulls 77. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Danny Ainge. Quiet once again. That's the case in Game 4. Williams. Frank Johnson spotting the shot. Ainge. Danny Ainge. Oliver Miller did the job keeping it alive and guiding it to Ainge. Suns 86 and the Bulls 77.
You know, Danny Ainge was 10 for 18 in the first 2 games, but since that time, he's only 3 for 12 until, actually 3 for 13 until he hit that last jumper.
Miller called for the foul, his 4th. Timeout has been called. Charles Barkley enjoying what he is seeing. His club up by 9. The crowd attempting to urge the Bulls on. They're trailing the Suns 86-77. Remember, last year, Game 6 here in Chicago, at one point, the Bulls were down by 15 early 4th quarter, but sparked by the play of Michael Jordan and John Paxson and tenacious defense. There's Scottie Pippen on the drive. The Bulls able to come from behind and beat Portland 97-93, outscoring the Blazers 33-14 in the 4th quarter. The steal by Jordan, stripping Buck Williams, and he puts it down. A 14-2 run was led by 4 reserves. Jordan was on the sidelines cheering his teammates on. Then Michael made his return to the court, and he helped put it away 97-93 as the Bulls won their 2nd consecutive title.
The problem with that was Portland, and that's fine, but this is the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley. They didn't have an inside player that being Portland like the Phoenix Suns have in a Charles Barkley, a guy who can set everybody else up. So that's a difference. I don't know if the Bulls can come back if Phoenix, well, I know they won't, not tonight, if Phoenix get up by 15 points. This team is playing too well right now.
And Michael Jordan is back, as is Charles Barkley. Suns 86, Bulls 78. 8:15 remaining in the 4th quarter. Marley for 3. Rebounded by West.
As Michael Jordan guards KJ, they're trying to keep him on the sideline, no middle. So as a result, Phoenix uses the screen to get KJ back to the middle.
Kevin Johnson dishing it off for Charles Barkley, but once again, he's not able to hit the outside shot.
For Phoenix side, see, I like Charles inside. He can get the shot off, score himself, or set his teammates up for a wide open shot. When he's outside, they're going to give him the outside jumper. They want him to take that shot.
Grant is fouled. The shot clock had run down to 4. Horace Grant upset with himself as he heads to the line. Marley called for his first. Horace 0 for 2 from the line, 0 for 4 from the field. He is not a good foul shooter, 61% during the regular season. The Suns by for 15 from the line. So Grant is only 1 for 4 from the foul line. They trap Johnson. Barkley being played now by Williams. Barkley, West, Marley up front. Johnson and Ainge at the guards. 5 on the 24. Kevin Johnson. Yes. Kevin Johnson has had a solid game. He has 16 points.
See, this is Phoenix's best scoring team because when Charles Barkley gets double teamed, all 3 guys on the perimeter can knock the open jumper down.
Suns 88, Bulls 79. Jordan with the turnaround. And the Suns now lead by 7. Jordan has 31. Pressure from Scott Williams, handled easily by Kevin Johnson. Barkley forced out by Grant. Johnson eluding Williams. Beautiful play by Kevin Johnson, stepping around the big man, Scott Williams.
But the last 2 possessions, they went through Charles Barkley. They got to keep doing that. If I'm Phoenix Suns, I want to keep doing that. Block shot by Mark West that time.
And here's Marley with Paxson falling down, and Marley was fouled by Jordan.
What everyone is upset about is that the whistle came late. The contact may have been so incidental that the official felt if the basket goes in, we'll just let it go. As Jordan runs him down, who initiates the contact? Is it Marley's right arm coming back, or is it Michael bumping into him? The shot misses, the whistle comes late, Marley will shoot his foul shots.
The Bulls very upset, and they take a timeout.
Hey on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile, by the people at Nike who encourage you to just do it, and by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
Welcome back to Chicago. The Suns with a 9-point lead on the Bulls as we wind down to the 4th quarter. Phoenix with the very best record in the NBA, 62 up and 20 down, but they've had their ups and downs in the playoffs, although they've gotten to the final round, but they're down here 3 games to 1. It's been a rocky road. We talked about that with Charles Barkley, who said it certainly has been a learning phase for the Suns come playoff time.
I think there's no question that no matter what happens this series, I think that we have learned, and I have learned, because I thought that because we have just ran through the NBA this year, I thought that we could outscore everybody and beat them. But I have learned that in the finals now that you have to play defense if you're going to win at all.
Defense wins you championships. Aggressive play wins you championships. And tonight, they've been aggressive and they've been physical when the Bulls have been taking the ball to the basket. Something I thought they didn't do the first 3 or 4 games, and they're doing it tonight.
One other thing I see the Phoenix team maturing as a half-court offensive team, understanding that it's the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th passes against great defense like Chicago that get you good shots.
Ainge and Grant went for it. Grant able to control, and Pippen finishes it off. He thought he was fouled. Suns 92. The Bulls 83, 5:45 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Okay, nobody should touch it but Charles Barkley. Then go to your offense from there.
Johnson trying to get it to West. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan went to the hesitation move. Barkley rebound. Barkley on the run. Barkley for Ainge. And the Suns lead 94-83 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining of the game. This crowd disappointed. They came here hoping to celebrate a 3-peat. Michael Jordan cuts it to 9. The Phoenix Suns have led most of the way, however, leading by as many as 16. And the Suns want to take it back to Phoenix for Game 6 Sunday night. Johnson Johnson with the save, intercepted by Grant. 3-on-1, Pippen all the way. Pippen not able to hit off that twisting shot. And here's Barley.
Oh, what a major mistake. I'm sorry, what a major mistake, Marv. He should have passed it to Charles for the dunk shot.
Wild end-to-end play. Paxson. And Williams able to put it home. Paxson claiming he was fouled. The Suns 94. The Bulls 87 as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the game.
A big basket by Scott Williams, but I haven't seen the energy from Scott Williams that we've seen him supply in past playoff games.
Kevin Johnson is fouled. Scottie Pippen has collected his 5th. Bulls with their 3rd team foul. Suns have 4. Johnson to the line. He's 2 for 2 from the line. 18 points, 8 assists for Kevin Johnson.
I love what Paul Westphal has done. He was upset that the Bulls were, especially Michael Jordan, was just tiptoeing down the lane in Game 4. And here he is, Charles Barkley, just giving his teammates some encouragement. But Paul Westphal was very upset that Michael Jordan was doing anything he wanted to do down the lane. And he came back and said, no layup rule. Everybody has to go to the free throw line. And the Phoenix Suns have responded.
The Suns have also responded at the line. The 16 for 19. They lead 96-87. Armstrong, Paxson, Jordan, and the 3-guard set, along with King and Grant. And Jess Kersey waves it off. Will not count. Foul called on Johnson outside.
His first penalty.
Well, he go catch KJ on the move, and KJ had nothing to do but to grab him, and it was a good foul by Kevin Johnson. This Phoenix Sun team is playing just an excellent and smart game. I am very impressed on how they came here ready to play and execute both offensively and defensively.
How about Michael Jordan at the line? He is 1 of 3 from the line in this quarter, 2 of 7, and the Bulls hurting themselves once again at the foul line. Jordan did not shoot well at the line in Game 4. 96-88, Suns with the lead. Here's pressure by Chicago. And again, the Suns have no trouble with it. Barkley able to swing away. Phil Jackson takes a long walk. Felt there should have been a foul. Each hits the 3. Phil Jackson looking for an offensive foul. And Danny Ainge connects from 3-point range. The Suns now lead 99-88. Timeout called by Chicago.
Well, after the play, Phil Jackson is just going crazy on the sideline, and he wants a timeout.
The guy that Phil Jackson fears the most on this team down the stretch is Danny Ainge because of his courage, willingness to take a big shot in tough situations.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Tonight's Miller Moment takes us back to the 1966 NBA Finals. The series went 7 games. The Boston Celtics outlasting the LA Lakers to capture an unprecedented 8th consecutive NBA championship. The Celtics, led by future Hall of Famers John Havlicek and Bill Russell, were not only the last team to three-peat, but the last true NBA dynasty. In recognition of these moments, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Well, Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns have been in the way of the quest of the Chicago Bulls to wrap it here tonight with the Bulls trying to become only the 3rd team in NBA history to win 3 in a row. No team has won 3 straight in 26 years. 3-point attempt by Jordan went astray. We're coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and the Suns lead 99-88.
If Chicago can get into it, they have a very small team on the floor. ball. Grant is the center right now. Now they've got Pippen, Paxson, BJ, and Michael, a pressing, trapping, quick team that can hit you with three-pointers in transition.
Johnson rebounded by Jordan. Jordan with the hesitation dribble. Fouled by Marley. So Jordan back to the line.
What you have to do if you're Chicago is try to score points and stop the clock. One way you do that, you emphasize take the ball to the basket. Another thought, you're down in the game by 11 points. There's 2:40 left. You've got to get possessions. You've got to score more points each time you have it than the other team. With Mark West on the floor, a 51% free throw shooter, maybe you tell the guy guarding him, if he touches the ball, foul him immediately. He makes one, you make two or three, you're picking up points on the exchange.
But that's a great theory and a great way to do things. I don't think Mark West will touch it. Charles Barkley will probably, again, set the offense for the Phoenix Suns. They're playing a smart game, going through Charles Barkley every single time.
2.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Barkley drawing the double team. Shot clock at 7. Marley eluding Jordan. Marley all the way. Went high off glass. Back come the Bulls. Down by 9.
Smart move by Ainge. Michael Jordan hit the little turnaround, but what he really was trying to do was create a shot for Paxson. Ainge almost came to help out, but stayed at home. Michael couldn't get it to him.
So the Suns now lead by 7. We're down to 1 minute and 50 remaining. Fourth quarter. Barkley struggling for position. Johnson. Yes, and it counts. Kevin Johnson with the field goal, and he will go to the line. He was fouled by Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan was trying to create right there something for Paxson, but Ainge started to come and went back, stayed at home with his player. Jordan turns and banks it off the glass.
And again, the offense ran through Charles Barkley. He got double teamed. He found the open man in Kevin Johnson, and they lay it up. I tell you, this Phoenix Sun team is playing excellent basketball, both offensively and defensively.
Here's one way to make your...
Well, the Chicago Bulls stadium crew preparing throughout the day to set up for the championship ceremony on the court. Look at the scaffolding. This compared to a year ago when they went through the ceremony downstairs. They instead today preparing for it through a full-scale rehearsal right throughout the day, and they are waiting in the wings. Now for more on that, because apparently the Phoenix Suns were a bit perturbed about all this preparation, let's go over to Hannah Storm.
Well, Marv, the Suns were talking about it in the locker room before the game. Charles Barkley told me that the Suns felt like the people of Chicago were already dividing up the will before the person was actually dead. And he said that he was going to set out to prove that the Phoenix Suns were very much alive, Marv.
Thanks, Hannah. Charles always has a way of capturing the scene. The Suns lead by 10 minutes and a half remaining. Jordan will go back to the foul line, hit by Kevin Johnson.
After that timeout, Ahmad just came back with us with this information that Chicago wants to go to their no-huddle, hurry-up offense. Not quite sure he's in the right sport right now.
Confused, you know, the former football player, you know, this.
But what he meant by that was Chicago wants to get it down quickly, get shots up quickly, not necessarily long shots, but don't use up too much time on the clock.
And remember what you was talking about, Mark West. Paul Westphal said, yeah, I know that Mark West can't shoot free throws too. Now I'm going to put in Frank Johnson. So good move by Paul Westphal.
40 points for Michael Jordan, along with 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Suns lead 102-94. Pressure by Jordan against Frank Johnson. So Frank Johnson and Kevin Johnson on the floor at the same time. Nice feed, but Barkley is rejected. A minute 10 remaining. Fourth quarter. Here's Pippen, stripped. Frank Johnson got a piece of it.
Use the clock right here. If you're Phoenix Sun, let it wind down. Take this shot in the last second or two.
Well, Kevin Johnson saw the opportunity, and with a burst to the basket, able to extend to a 10-point lead.
As Charles Barkley told us on the off day, we have not been able to stop them on the critical plays when we've had to. That last strip, last time down, was
at home. Jordan called for that foul. That is his 5th. And they come to Chicago, and they will beat the Bulls 2 out of 3 here in Chicago.
You know what, Marv? The Chicago Bulls are in trouble. They're in trouble. This thing is going to go 7. The last 2 games, even with Michael scoring 55 points, I thought the Phoenix Suns team still outplayed them. They had the chance to tie that game. Kevin Johnson misses that ball. I mean, he turned the ball over. Now they come back, turn it around again in this game. I tell you, the Phoenix Suns are playing better. They're hotter. They're playing better than the Chicago Bulls, and the Bulls are in trouble.
Dan Marley may be part of the big story tonight because your second team, all defensive player, has held Michael Jordan at times. Jordan only 4 field goal attempts on the inside, 24 on jumpers from the outside.
37 and 4/10 seconds remaining in the 4th. No team has ever come back from a 3-1 deficit to win the NBA Finals. This is a step in the right direction. The Suns will stay alive. There will be a Game 6 in Phoenix. Will be on hand 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday night, which means the Czar's television career extends at least 1 more game. I mean, let's get things into the proper perspective. Ainge called for that foul on Jordan, who was gunning from 3-point range. Michael Jordan back to the line. He's 6 of 8 from the line.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say that it's gonna be 7 games. This is gonna be 7 games. I have no question in my mind. It's gonna be 7 games in this series. And I tell you what, everybody better hold on. That American West Arena, them fans of the Phoenix Suns will be rocking come Sunday.
Magic, a walking promo here.
This team is playing. They're confident right now, the Phoenix Suns. Paul Westphal has made all the correct moves in terms of getting his team to say no layup rule, play aggressive, play hard. We don't want Michael down in the lane tonight, and that has happened for them.
Jordan missed that free throw on purpose. 105-95, Suns by 10. It will be Chicago ball, 31 seconds remaining. The Chicago shuffle continues. John Paxson back for Trent Tucker. Kevin Johnson with an outstanding game. 25 points, 8 assists, 11 of his 25 in the 4th. Charles Barkley, despite that sore elbow, comes up big. 24 points, 6 assists for Barkley. Here's Pippen for 3. Armstrong keeps it alive. Frank Johnson gets to it. 20 seconds remaining. How about Richard Dumas? 25 points for Dumas. Michael Jordan with 40. Scottie Pippen with 22. Check that 41 for Jordan. Grant called for the foul. His 3rd.
And the last thing I'm going to bring up that I felt that was really important here for the Phoenix Suns, they didn't play that friendship stuff tonight. They went after the Bulls. They hit the Bulls. I didn't see what I saw in the first 3 or 4 games. You can see that they said, okay, enough of that.
And Marley departing. Gerard Mustaf will make a cameo. Marley leads with 11, along with 7 assists.
You know, Magic, I like a lot of the stuff you're saying. You would make a great assistant coach.
I would have to ask Pat Riley first. See, if I went with you, he'd be mad at me for not checking with him first. But I like the idea.
And the deal is, you sleep on the sofa in the Czar's house in Richfield. 10 seconds remaining in the game, and the Suns with a 106-95 lead. Michael Jordan sitting down, departing with 41. That's Tucker hitting a 3. 106-98, and the foul is given by Paxson. Frank Johnson with some words in the direction of John Paxson, who just walks away.
I told you things have changed. This is not the same Phoenix Suns team that has been playing the first 4 games. This is a different Phoenix Suns team. And I wasn't saying that friendship thing because you can't be friends. I was saying it because you have to have a dislike somewhat for your opponent to win a championship. That's throughout all these championship series, it has happened.
And once again, Frank Johnson, in his brief appearance, did a nice job. Paul Westphal for the first time going with the combination at times of Frank Johnson and Kevin Johnson. 10-point Suns lead, and that will do it. The Phoenix Suns, leading most of the way, remain alive in this best of 7 as they knock off the Bulls 108-98. The Bulls now lead 3 games to 2, but this series goes back to Phoenix. Game 6, Sunday night. Airtime at 7. That's Eastern time right here on NBC. Let's go to Hannah with Phoenix coach Paul Westphal. Hannah?
Paul, the Chicago Bulls came into this game with a date with destiny, but you guys came in hungry, fighting for survival, loose. You're having a great time, joking at halftime. Did that kind of attitude help you come into Chicago Stadium and take 2 out of 3?
We like to play basketball, and I think the game should be fun, and I think that if you relieve the pressure a little bit, you can play better. So it worked tonight.
You guys took a big lead early. They came back, but you never really let them take control of the game. Was defense the difference for you guys in this game?
We don't play defense in the West. That couldn't have been it. But
that's what everyone was saying.
That's right. Well, maybe it was an accident tonight, but I thought our defense was great. Michael was fantastic as usual, but he really had to work hard. He didn't get into the paint like he did last game, and I think that not only KJ but our whole team really deserves a lot of credit for the defense they played.
And how much did the experience of the early rounds, the early round against the Lakers in Phoenix, how much did that help tonight?
Well, I think it helped a lot. To tell you the truth, that was pressure. The first round was pressure. This right now is nothing compared to that. So we're relaxed and we're playing the way that we can play, and we're glad that we're going back to Phoenix. If we're the best team, we should be able to win 2 games in Phoenix. If we're not, then we'll tip our hats to them.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you there. Let's go over to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks. And Charles, the other night we were talking, you guys are down 3-1, and you kept saying, it's our destiny. It's our destiny.
I believe it is our destiny to win the World Championship. I have believed that for the last year, and I believe in my heart that we're going to win the World Championship. And I told you that. I don't care about being down 3-1. God wants us to win the World Championship.
I don't know if I go that far, Charles.
Oh, no, I talked to him the other night.
But wait a minute, Charles. Now, how do you guys remain so confident?
Well, this is our 5th game that if we lost it, our season was over. But I'm telling you, it's destiny. I don't care what anybody says. We believe that it's our destiny to win the World Championship this year.
Had to be motivated by the people who are getting ready for a championship
yes, Chicago. You can take all that wood off them windows. There won't be no riots and things tonight. Might be later, but take all that plywood off the windows.
All right, Charles, we'll see you in Phoenix.
Thank you, baby.
All right, back to you, Marv.
Little World Wrestling Federation effect here from Charles as the Phoenix Suns defeat the Chicago Bulls 108-98. And as Charles pointed out, Suns 5-0 now in games facing elimination in the playoffs this season. Join us Sunday night in Phoenix, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Game 6 of the NBA Finals. We'll bring it to you. Tonight, following your late local news, don't miss The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Then Late Night with David Letterman, followed by Friday Night Videos. Those of you on the West Coast will see 2 special episodes of The Fresh Prince. The Bob Costas, Mike Fratello, Magic Johnson, Ahmad Rashad, and Hannah Storm. I'm Marv Albert. This has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.
Channel 5, WMAQ-TV, Chicago. Now, live from the NBC Tower, this is the Channel 5 News at 10.
Swing away. Phil Jackson takes a long walk. Felt there should have been a foul. Each hits the 3. Phil Jackson looking for an offensive foul.
The Bulls were dreaming of history, hoping to finish off the Suns tonight at Chicago Stadium to become the only team in more than 20 years to win 3 straight titles. It did not happen. Now the heat is on as the Bulls must travel to Phoenix and win one there or give up their NBA crown.
We have extended coverage of the post-game story. First, we go to the floor of the Chicago Stadium and to Mark Giangreco. Mark?
Thank you very much, Carol. Dan Marley with us. I heard Charles Barkley say you're a team of destiny. You were destined to win this thing. How do you come in here and steal 2 like that?
We are a great road team. We played well all year long that way, and every time our backs are against the wall, it seems that we step up and have our best game. And tonight, from start to finish, we are team possessed. We had to do what we had to do. We were great on the offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, and when we control the boards, we get out and run, and we get some easy layups.
I guess so. Phil Jackson said there were gremlins afoot. We could hear him on the bench. Dixie?
Well, Dan, let me ask you this. Your team seems to be burgeoning in confidence as you go along. Right now, you seem to have all the answers and all the weapons offensively, and Chicago has no answers for you.
We sure do. We've been that way all year long, and having Charles Barkley in a low post really helps. If they decide to keep one man on him, Charles is going to have a field night because there's not one guy in the league can stop him. And then when they double off, they don't know who to leave. Richard Dumas had a great game hitting his shots, and they can't leave him. Mark West gets a lot of dunks. Then you have Danny and myself standing out there at the three-point line. So if that puts the other team in a dilemma, and we'll get our spacing the way we had it we're tough to guard.
Please answer this question for me. Why doesn't Richard Dumas play in the fourth quarter?
Well, I think Coach wants to go with the experience. Danny Ainge has been in these situations so many times, and it worked out well that we have Danny in there, the guy who can control the ball a little better and plays a little bit better defense than Richard. And, Richard plays hard when he's in there, and he did a great job for us tonight while he was on the floor. And when he goes out, we always have somebody step in and take his shoes.
Right, and Danny Ainge hit the killer three.
Yeah, Danny's been in this situation, and Richard's a rookie, and he's played great for us. But we want Danny in there when crunch time because he really knows what to do and what we need.
All right, Thunder, thanks a lot.
Hey, Thunder,
I don't know if we
look
should
at
be
that
thanking
camera.
him
Look at that camera and tell those people you can win this thing.
Oh, there's no doubt. Ever since we started this playoffs, we thought we could win it. So,
Hey, Dixie, don't encourage him.
It's not over.
All right, thanks. Dan Marley, let's go to Paul Westphal at the podium.
People to remember that this game is still a game of finesse and moving your feet, and I think that we showed that tonight.
Jordan got his points, but you completely shut down Grant and Cartwright.
Well, I don't know that we shut them down. Everybody from time to time, I said this when KJ struggled. Everybody except probably Michael Jordan and maybe Charles struggles once in a while, and it was their turn to struggle. I don't know that it was what we did.
Paul, have you ever been involved in a situation where you've forced an entire city to be in a state of shock?
Well, it was our goal to save the city. We like Chicago. We had a really nice week, and we thought that we would step forward and do something for the city to pay them back for the hospitality they showed. We didn't want to see it burn today.
What was the purpose? And what was their reaction?
Just letting them know we having dinner tomorrow night. You won't be here. They were laughing. We had a good time. I guess y'all can take that damn plywood off the windows now.
Yeah, but they might have to put it up in Phoenix now.
We're civilized in Phoenix. We won't riot.
There's ex-Chicagoans living there, though.
Them just the rich Chicagoans who moved there, want a home. We still got to win 2 more games. They got to win 1. It's gonna be a tough series. But I tell you what, it's funny when you see the mayor and everybody get on TV talking about don't destroy the city. I told the guy, let's don't play the game. Let's just get back to Phoenix in time for happy hour.
You don't blame them for taking precautions, though, do you? Just in case you guys might have slipped up.
Well, I think the putting extra policemen out there, National Guard, whatever, would have been fine. You're boarding up windows and everything. I think that's kind of. I'm walking down Michigan Avenue and I don't see any things in the stores. I was starting to get worried there for a second. I ain't thought I was back in the neighborhood.
Hey, did that motivate you guys when you saw all those preparations? You say, hey, look, they already got us losing?
I think it's no question. I thought it was funny more than getting us motivated. I mean, we're not. Listen, this is our 5th game that our season could end. We are pretty much immune to the situation now.
Charles, you had 3 guys with 20 or more points in this contest, and plus you did a good job of shutting down Grant on the boards.
Well, I think you guys were giving them all the credit for guarding me with 1 man in game 1. Well, in game 1, I just missed shots. And if you ever try to guard me with 1 guy again, I'll get 20 a half. So in the second half, they doubled me every time I touched the ball and I didn't score. And I did a good job of picking the defense apart. But you guys were all riding on coattails after game 1. I got great shots in game 1. I just didn't make any. But ain't no one player can guard me. And y'all can write that down. I missed some shots in game 1, but they can't guard me with 1 guy like y'all would like to believe. So they doubled me every time in the second half. And I was able to pick guys out, and Kevin made some plays when I got him the ball out of the double team.
Charles, Magic Johnson has talked about you have to hate your enemies to be able to beat them, but you guys have transcended that to also enjoy this series.
Well, I think that's bogus. Come on. Yeah, you shouldn't hate anybody.
Charles, the Bulls didn't seem as frustrated tonight as they were the night before. In other words, the temperatures didn't rise out there.
Oh, man, listen, we had a chance to win the last game, too. We just couldn't make a play down the stretch. But tonight, we just didn't let it get like that. So, everybody was talking, hey, let me tell you, if Michael gets 55, we have a chance to win with a minute to go. I'll take that every time on the road. But
Now we go into the valley. Could be hot. Could be real hot.
God wants you to win.
Why do I think God wants us to win?
Yeah.
I believe there's such thing as destiny. And I told Michael that the other night at dinner. I just believe in my heart. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I believe it 100% that it's just our destiny. Oh no, he said he read a different Bible than I did.
Charles, were you a little surprised when they did not come at you offensively when you went to your smaller lineup? They had you playing center on defense. They had Horace on you also, and they did not take shots with Cartwright and Horace.
Well, I mean, I don't worry too much about what the other team is doing. We just try to do what we do best. I think what happens is we came out, I think the coaches wanted me to get off to a good start, and I did. And that forces them to double team me every time. And when they're doubling me every time, and if I get the ball to KJ, he's going to make things happen. If I get the ball to Ed Marley, he's going to make some things happen. Where you been? Helping them take down that plywood?
That's right, man.
Charles, can you comment on the play of Richard Dumas tonight, 25 points?
Richard played really, really well. I tell you what, when Richard, I think, is the beneficiary, I think, playing with me and KJ because he's very athletic and he moves well and he wants to score every time. So when you play with guys like me who you have to double or play with a point guard like Kevin who's penetrating every time, makes the game a lot easier for guys like that.
Charles, what is going to be the key element to beat them in Phoenix, something that you haven't done all season?
Well, I think it's a different mentality now. I think we know that we can beat them, and we just got to come out and play aggressive. I think, you know, other than game one, I'm pretty happy with our performances. Other than the first quarter of game one, I'm very happy with our performances. And I think it's very important. I've said this 100 times. This team can only go as far as me and Kevin takes it. And if we both play well, or one of us play well, we're not going to win. But if both of us play well, we're going to beat anybody. And that's kind of like Michael and Scotty.
Charles, you get the sense that the Bulls are getting worn down by the pace that you guys have set in these games, and not used to running quite as much as you guys do.
No, hey, Michael Jordan was tired tonight. He was tired tonight. And as an offensive player myself, when you get 30, 40, and 55 points, you're tired. And everybody was saying the other day, well, we put KJ on him, we put Marley on him, we put Dumas on him. Hey, he has to work hard. Number one, those guys are very athletic. It takes a lot of energy to get past those guys. And then to score 55 points on top of that. And, hey, he human.
Charles, a final message to the people of Chicago.
Charles Barkley saying it all, scaring me with that destiny stuff. Dixie, let's take a look at the highlights now. The final, 108-98. Suns, great defense in the first quarter. The ball stripped away. They get it out to Barkley for the lonesome slam. He had 24. That put him up 27-15. Then in the second quarter, John Paxson, what a ball game, hitting 4 threes. He brings it up and bangs it down. That cut the lead to 4, 38-34. The Bulls' first lead was 43-42, but Phoenix withstood the charge and opened it up again. KJ, who had 25, gets it to Dumas, who had 25. 61-53 Suns. Still in the third. Pax strips KJ. Here we go to Pippen, to Mike for the big slam. Jordan with 41, 76-71. Bulls within 5. We thought maybe, but no. In the fourth quarter, 3:23 left in regulation. Danny Ainge hits the 3. That was the dagger in the heart to make it 99-88. Phil can't believe it. He's not going to the Grateful Dead concert tomorrow night. He was coaching the Deadheads tonight. Barkley backs in on KJ. 3-point play for Kevin Johnson. Charles warned us, do not cut up the will until the body is cold.
Coaching the Deadheads tonight? I loved it.
I'm not sorry. I'm through apologizing. Wow. Let's go back to the NBC Tower.
All right, Mark, there's another big story tonight. Stadium, John Kelly in the locker room with Scottie Pippen.
Okay, let's join in on the conversation. Scottie talking about how they could not make a run of the Suns to put this thing away.
Yeah, probably we would run the game, but they just had to flow a little bit better than we did tonight. We just never got into our flow.
I guess you have to give Phoenix credit on a night like this. You guys wanted the game very badly, but there's two teams playing on this court, aren't there?
Well, yeah, they're a desperate team right now, and they're putting it all on the line. They're coming out, they're playing hard, and you know they play wild and free tonight, and that's their style of play. And the ball bounced the right way for them. They made a lot of tough shots and a lot of great shots.
Scotty, your team still leads at 3-2, but at this point you got to be thinking a little bit, going back to their house, that they have some momentum.
Not really. They haven't beat us on their court yet, period. So we feel very positive and very confident that we can go there and end this series.
Why is this series going this way? A home court really doesn't mean anything.
Well, you got two teams who are capable of coming into each other's building and taking the momentum from one another. And, you know, it's just when you got that road mentality and you're able to go in all the buildings and beat a team, it just happens.
How difficult will it be to get up for this next game?
Well, I don't think it's going to be tough for us at all. I think we're going to come in focused and ready to end this series the next game, which we should have did tonight. Our main focus is to go there and play as hard as we can.
Scotty, the performance of Richard Dumas tonight, he was outstanding, particularly in the first half. What allowed him to get off this evening?
Well, he had a great game. He was knocking his shots down, and, you know, we're not really focusing on him too much. We're running over and trying to help on Barkley, and I'm getting caught down inside Ralston with West, and he's running wild and free, and that's his style of play. Give him credit. He had a great game.
Scotty, how surprised were you that this team was able to get out early and start getting some of those transition buckets?
Well, that was something we was very conscious of going into the game. We knew the last few years we had to battle back against the Lakers, we had to battle back against Portland, and we didn't want that to happen to us tonight, but just so happened it did. And this is a good team, and we wasn't able to get back into it.
Scotty, it seemed like you guys were very, very tight, especially at the beginning, and just couldn't get unloosened.
Well, we just never could get anything to fall for us. So we were getting good shots, and they were getting good shots, and they were knocking them down, a lot of tough shots. But just part of the game. They came ready to play tonight, and we did.
Scotty, what were some of the first things you discussed when you got here in the locker room?
Well, it's really just for us not to get down. We're still leading this series. You know, we can go there and still clinch it. They still got to beat us twice in a row. We can't get down right now. We just got to go there full of confidence and full of energy and put it on the line.
Okay, Scotty, that's Scottie Pippen talking about not being able to get it. They still lead at 3-2. Let's take it over to the podium.
Great effort from a team effort. On the offensive end, we stuttered and we had some problems out there tonight. And you got to contribute them with good defense. I thought they played well tonight.
Was anything wrong physically with Horace? It just seemed like he wasn't in this one.
I don't think so.
You guys looked a lot more tired in this game than they did, and actually they've played several more games in the playoffs. Can you address that?
I thought that you know, we came out and played tentative maybe to start the game, and we ran ourselves into a little bit of a tired spell trying to catch up, put pressure on, get excited, and play hard. We did that in the second quarter. Took a lot of energy out of us. Michael played that whole first half. And then we got ourselves a little bit in the same situation in the third quarter when we got back in the ball game. We stayed at that energy level that I think dissipated a lot of our team condition and our energy. They played very well. They played under control and got things going their way well.
So what did they do defensively to shut down the middle tonight that they weren't doing last?
They just came out and met the guys that are driving at the basket. And tonight they weren't going in. The shots weren't going in, and we didn't get all the foul calls and go to the basket or the free throw line as well as we did the other night. I thought they made a determined effort to stop the middle, and they did a good job at it.
So was there a problem with recognition in the first quarter with Paul Westphal going to a small lineup with Charles Barkley playing center against Bill Cartwright? He passed up several shot opportunities.
Say that a little louder for me so I can hear.
Was there a problem with recognition when Paul Westphal went to a smaller lineup? Bill Cartwright had Barkley on him defensively, and Cartwright didn't pull the trigger on a few shots.
Yeah, well, Bill had a little trouble scoring in there early on. We didn't identify that, although we knew that that was going to be a matchup and we're prepared for it. We just didn't get it in our favor. And that was a little bit of the matchup problem again tonight. Bothered us a little bit on the defensive end and the offensive end because we weren't quite settled in how we were going to accomplish the task offensively. As a result, some of the shots came hurried. maybe some of the shots came out of rhythm of our offense, and as a consequence, we didn't cover back well defensively.
Well, just like players
We're going to switch back now to the locker room where John Kelly is talking with Horace Grant.
Okay, Horace right now discussing his off night, not really able to get into the flow, and the Suns able to put them away.
Came out very tentative in the beginning, and you know they had us on our heels since then. I mean, since the beginning, and you can't be on your heels against a team like Phoenix.
Horace, what was your feeling during this game? I mean, you could tell the frustration was setting in, even in the free throw line. You were surprised that you finally got one in.
Well, I was out of sync all night, and you know, this is one of the worst games, one of the worst days, nights of my life, to not give my teammates something and to lose this basketball game.
You talk about, I mean, everybody's surprised. You take the first two on their home court, they come in and snatch 2 out of 3. I would imagine a little bit of shock by your team.
Yeah, it was a shock because we should have won the series tonight. But, you know, you have to tip your hat to Phoenix. You know, they came in, they had a great game plan, and we just have to go there and get one.
What can you do to reestablish some momentum?
We have to set the game at our tempo instead of letting them use their tempo, and we just have to hit the boards. We have to go in the offensive boards and the defensive boards.
How will it be coming back from something that as disappointing as this?
Well, I have to do some soul searching myself because it's one of the worst games of my life. But as a team as a whole, you know, the confidence is still there. We just have to go out and do it.
Or Scotty says that at this point the momentum still is on your side. You're up 3-2. Or do you agree with that? That maybe that the Suns, despite grabbing 2 of 3 from here, you guys are still very much in control.
We're still up 3-2, and like I said, we're still in control. We just have to go there and play. You know, we got 2 there. They got 2 here. So you know, they're going to be the Suns are going to be uptight on their home court.
Horace, how can you make of the 2 teams both playing so great on the road but not so well at home on their own courts?
I guess we're 2 good road teams. It seems like we play more relaxed on the road because we're more focused and we know what has to be done. But at home, it seems like we play more relaxed and play a little tentative, and we bury ourselves in the hole, and it's hard to get out.
Okay, Horace Grant very much in agreement with teammate Scottie Pippen that they still lead this series 3-2, so they are still very much in control. Let's take it back to the tower.
All right, thanks very much, John. We'll continue our
Back live on the floor of the stadium. Michael is at the podium downstairs.
You know, that's something that Horace shouldn't hang his head low. He should hang his head high and say, hey, this was a bad game. Shake it off, come back in Game 5, and, you know, Game 6 actually, and try to you know, redeem yourself.
Michael, considering all the anticipation that you had, your teammates had, and the city had, how disappointed are you that you didn't win tonight?
You know, I would be lying if I said we were not disappointed because we could not accomplish the ultimate goal here in Chicago of winning a 3rd title. If the city expected us to, we expected ourselves to, we prepared ourselves to win. And we all were disappointed. You know, that's a part of life. You know, we just have to shake it off. We got 2 more opportunities to try to make this thing happen. You know, when we're looking at our first opportunity on Sunday, you know, we just got to gather our minds together and gather our energy that we, you know, hopefully still got left, and put it in each and every game and try to make this thing happen.
Going to Phoenix? Were you going to the basket, getting banged around, and not coming up with anything even tough?
Well, I mean, it was a lot of calls questionable, and I don't think it's, you know, from a player standpoint, I don't think I should stand up here and whine about why I didn't get calls or the calls that I should have got. We made the effort to go into the hole to try to get calls and try to break the defenses down, and we did not get the calls that we wanted to, and you know, it's going to be that way. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened to us in the playoffs. So we have to play above that. We know that coming into the game, that we have to play above the 3 referees that's out there. You know, we have to bind together and still, you know, overcome all the calls that we may not get.
Mike, when did you realize?
Excuse me?
Is that your private party that took for your restaurant?
No. All private parties at my restaurant was, you know, from my standpoint, was canceled. You know, and that was not due to, you know, what happened in this game. You know, it's because of the safety of the city. We felt that, you know, it would be very hazardous to that area because of the fans and all the hype that might have happened in the course of us winning. I was aware that the investors may have a party there, and, that was an investor's opportunity. But from my standpoint, I canceled my private party there. Yes.
Michael, would you say the pressure goes back on Phoenix, even though they won tonight, that they haven't beaten you in their home in the 3 games you've played?
Well, you can say that, but yeah, I think they're still confident. Coming here and beating us 2 out of 3 games, they have to have some confidence. Going back in familiar surroundings, that's a big plus for them. We still got a game up, and still a game away from actually winning this, so they still have some pressure on them, but they must be a little bit more confident than what they were when they came out of Phoenix.
Michael Charles said he thought that you were tired and that they made you work much harder to get
Who's
your
this?
points tonight. Charles Barkley, 34, said he thought you were tired and that they made you work much harder for your points tonight. That was a factor. Would you agree?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, naturally, you find your points in the course of the game where you're digging for breath. And yeah, I had my times in the course of the game. But I felt I was pretty strong down the stretch. I felt everybody wanted to, contribute to the different outcome that the game presented. But I don't think I was as tired as I was in the triple overtime, by no means.
When did you realize in this game that you're going to have to change your plans and go to Phoenix?
37 seconds left. I think it looked kind of dim for us, and you just had to fix it in your mind that it wasn't going to happen here. And even though it was a very disappointing thought, that's the reality thought of things. And I think we would be disappointed today and probably half of tomorrow. But as professionals, we got to walk this thing off or wear this thing off and get back and ready and try to win it on Sunday.
Well, you guys been able to come back whenever it looked like you were going to lose a lot of times and still win a game. Do you think y'all relied on that thought some in this game?
Well, we got out of the blocks slow, and we gave them, I wouldn't say gave them, but they got out of the blocks quicker than we did. And the whole game we were fighting back. We got within 7 points. Yeah, we believed that we could come back, but we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We would get a steal, get a rebound here, we go down, turn the ball over. I was a culprit of it. I think other players were a culprit of it, but that's the way things happen sometimes. No matter how bad you wanted to win and you had your opportunities, we just botched things up, and you just have to accept that.
Can you win next time, Michael, without Horace being involved in the offense?
Yeah, I like to think that we can win without a key player not productive, but the question is, do we want to? I don't think we want to. I think we are a much better team when Horace is productive, and hopefully he can be, as well as everyone else in Game 6. But it puts the strain on a lot of other people when one guy or a major guy like Horace or Scotty or myself doesn't play up to his capability in the productivity area.
Michael, Charles earlier said that he believes in his heart that the Suns are a team of destiny, and that he told you that.
He's been telling me that crap ever since he's been here.
What's your response?
I mean, he's got a different destiny than what we see it. We're destined to win as much as he's destined to win, and right now we got the one game up. So, I don't think any player is going to be in a position where we are right now and think they're going to lose. Charles is a very positive thinker, and so are we. And I understand his positive thinking, but we're here to say that his destiny is to have a long summer thinking about what he should have or would have done.
Have you been surprised by Richard Dumas?
We'll continue our expanded coverage in a moment, but first here's another look at John Paxton's key three-point shooting in the first half.